than the knife, and they can kill it once, but they can't kill it twice.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news at 5 for this Saturday, September 14, 2024. 2 of the 3 persons who died in this morning's motor vehicle accident on Eastwood Park Road in St. Andrew have been identified. The Kingston Public Hospital, KPH, has provided an update on the Burger King employees who sustained burn injuries following an explosion at the New Kingston restaurant on Wednesday. PNP describes decision to mandate the presence of an ambulance at the Sangster International Airport as a pothole fixing exercise. In news from the region, Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is lamenting the fact that public confidence in the TNT police service is dwindling. On the international scene, Romania has set up displacement camps and launched rescue operations after floods killed at least 4 people. While in sports, Manchester City recovered from conceding after 23 seconds to maintain their 100% record with victory over Brentford in the English Premier League. The details after this.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Two of the 3 persons who died in this morning's motor vehicle accident on Eastwood Park Road in St. Andrew have been identified. They are 43-year-old Chanel Daly and 22-year-old Ryan Campbell. They are both of Greendale Drive, Kingston 19. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that about 3:40, the unidentified man was driving a Honda City motor car along the roadway with 4 passengers inside. It is alleged that the vehicle ran off the roadway, crashed into a wall, and caught fire. The driver, who was the unidentified man, died on the spot. The police assisted the other injured persons to the hospital, where Daly and Campbell were pronounced dead. The other 2 passengers were admitted for treatment. Meanwhile, the Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, is calling for an improvement in deterrence mechanisms to stem the growing number of road fatalities. His call comes in the wake of this morning's accident along Eastwood Park Road in St. Andrew. Dr. Jones said unless systems are implemented to deter reckless behavior on the roads, the carnage will continue.
If you drive over the speed limit, they need to be able to test drivers in situations like this to see whether or not the driver was driving under the influence of alcohol or, for that matter, marijuana. We need to be able to warn and even frighten people to realize that if you drive over the speed limit, a camera will catch you. That's one of the ways to get people to change their behavior. Some kind of deterrent factor. Yes, the demerit system is in place already. It needs to be more efficiently rolled out. Yes, we have a system of ticketing those who are found to be breaking the law. But we need every single other piece of equipment.
Since the start of September, there have been 14 road fatalities. 261 persons have been killed in accidents so far in 2024. Dr. Jones once again called on motorists to cut their speed as this is a major contributor to accidents.
And the data is very clear. A 5% reduction in the average speed will give us a 30% reduction in fatalities. We cannot continue to drive like this and people die and be injured and families grieve and a nation suffers because of indiscipline and people just can't hear. So we need to give police the tools to do their work properly.
Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. Meanwhile, the National Road Safety Council wants dead drivers to be tested for their level of alcohol consumption. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, believes this will help in analyzing the factors that contribute and cause road accidents.
In this context, we call upon the Ministry of Health and their top officials to help the National Road Safety Council to overcome this ethically and legally challenging issue of ensuring that the police can test dead drivers to see whether or not they have been using alcohol and driving, and for that matter, marijuana also.
Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. The Kingston Public Hospital, KPH, has provided an update on the Burger King employees who sustained burn injuries following an explosion at the New Kingston restaurant on Wednesday. KPH is advising that on Wednesday, September 11, it admitted 3 individuals to the accident and emergency department with the injuries. According to the hospital, the medical team assessed each patient according to the severity of their injuries and determined that some patients could be treated and discharged while others required more inpatient management care. One patient was transferred to the Tony Thwaites wing for continued care following consultations with the plastic surgery team at the University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI. It says the remaining patient opted to continue treatment at KPH and is currently in stable condition. The KPH is further advising that a team of consultant plastic surgeons has confirmed that the 2 patients receiving care at KPH and UHWI are expected to recover fully. However, rehabilitative care will be necessary following their discharge. Both facilities are providing comprehensive treatment, including wound care, plastic surgery, and rehabilitative services. Meanwhile, the hospital wants it to be noted that it is equipped to manage a wide range of burn injuries, from first and second degree burns to some more severe cases requiring advanced interventions. In cases where specialized care beyond the KPH's facilities is needed, they may be referred to other institutions. At the same time, the public is being reminded by the hospital that patients have the right to seek treatment at any medical institution of their choosing. If a transfer is requested, the KPH said it will ensure that the necessary medical reports are provided to facilitate continuity care. Meanwhile, the owner of the local Burger King franchise, Restaurants Associates Limited (RAL), says it's saddened to hear that the relatives of a burn victim believe they have not been offered support by the company following a fire this week at a New Kingston outlet. Injuries were sustained by several employees following an explosion at the facility on Wednesday. RAL's CEO Lisa Lake said the company is prepared to finance the expenses to facilitate the recovery of the victim in question.
We're very saddened to hear that Ms. Folks' family is of the view that they have not been offered support by Burger King. To the contrary, we've been communicating to them that no expense will be spared to implement the doctor's recommendations for her best recovery, including overseas treatment. Information that we've been provided by the medical team thus far is that she's progressing well with no life-threatening injuries. Yesterday, we offered for both patients that were admitted to KPH to be transferred up to the Tony Thwaites wing at UWI, where we believe they would be more comfortable and under the expert care of the plastic surgeons up there. One patient agreed to the transfer and has been comfortably up at Tony Thwaites since yesterday. Ms. Folks' family decided for her to remain at KPH.
Ms. Lake also commented on the desire of the family to have the relative transferred overseas for treatment by declaring that the best course of treatment will be supported by the company.
We do understand that it's their desire to have her transferred for care overseas, and I've indicated to them from the very beginning that we stand by to do whatever the doctors determine is the best course of treatment. This morning, minutes before 11, we received an invoice from the air ambulance company, and we indicated to the family within 2 hours that we were set up and ready to wire transfer the funds to the air ambulance company upon receiving the necessary documents. The only document that is outstanding is a letter from the doctor recommending that she be transferred to an overseas facility due to the fact that the treatment for her condition cannot be obtained locally. I understand that is the family's view. We can only act on medical advice.
Lisa Lake, CEO of Restaurants Associates Limited. A pothole fixing exercise. That's how the opposition spokesman on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, is describing the government's decision to mandate the presence of an ambulance at the Sangsa International Airport. Dr. Dawes is asserting that the government made the decision out of public outrage. He says the Norman Manley International Airport was not considered because there was no negative publicity attached to it. 71-year-old Leroy Smith died at the Sangsa International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James last Wednesday after falling and hitting his head. Meanwhile, Dr. Dawes is also asserting that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has also finally reacted to the chronic shortage of ambulances at the Cornwall Regional Hospital after ignoring that and other emergency medical services island-wide. Dr. Dawes claims that the lack of a comprehensive plan to address the widespread issues affecting the health sector results in a reactionary approach to bad publicity. According to the opposition, nothing short of a comprehensive reform of the health sector is needed. Now to news Now to other local news. 2 men were killed while 2 others were injured in 2 separate incidents in Hurlock District, Granville in St. James on Friday, September 13. The deceased, who are both of Hurlock District in the parish, have been identified as 20-year-old graphic artist Ronaldinho Headley, otherwise called Mike, and O'Neill Howe, otherwise called Redneck. According to the police, in the first incident about 8 p.m., Howe and other men were at a bar in the community when a Toyota motor car drove up. Armed men reportedly exited the vehicle and opened gunfire, hitting 3 men. The gunmen then escaped. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, the injured men were taken to the hospital where Howe was pronounced dead. The other 2 men were treated. In the second incident, about 8:30 p.m., residents reportedly heard explosions and called the police. When the police responded, they found Headley lying on the roadway in the community with gunshot wounds. He was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. As the investigation continues, detectives are urging anyone with information that can assist them to contact the Montego Bay Criminal Investigations Branch at 876-684-9080, Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. Let's now turn to news in the region. Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary Farley Augustine is lamenting the fact that public confidence in the TNT public service is dwindling, that should be police services dwindling on the island, in the wake of a 22nd murder. Speaking to Guardian Media on Thursday, Augustine said he warned a month ago that the population will slowly lose confidence in the national security apparatus, and it is now being seen. On the international scene, Romania has set up displacement camps and launched rescue operations after floods killed at least 4 people and destroyed thousands of homes in the east of the country. Military boats and planes are being used to move people to safety, and the Prime Minister, Marcel Ciacalcolu, has said the priority now is to prevent further loss of life. Recent days have seen torrential rain sweep through Central and Eastern Europe, swelling rivers and triggering flood warnings in the Czech Republic, Poland, Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary. The flood barriers in the Czech Republic, in the Czech capital, Prague, have been raised, while in parts of Poland, residents have been evacuated. And now to sports. Erling Haaland scored twice to take his English Premier League tally to 9 as Manchester City recovered from conceding after just 23 seconds to maintain their 100% record with a 2-1 victory over Brentford today.
Looking to attack as well with Keane Lewis-Potter, and a problem for Manchester City, and a goal inside 25 seconds. Remarkable from Brentford. The warning is clear at the start of the season and this match. Underestimate Brentford at your peril. Grealish looks for Kovacic. In turn finds Walker. Maybe thought about hitting it. It rolls Haaland's way! And you know what happens next. His insatiable appetite for goals is equalled by his frightening ability to score them. Oh, and Haaland just bumps his way past Pinnock, through on goal! And when that happens, there is never any doubt. It's goal scoring on another level from the man of the moment, Erling Haaland.
Indeed, meanwhile, Nottingham Forest beat Liverpool 1-0 to claim their first win at Anfield since February 1969, thanks to Callum Hudson-Odoi's strike.
Elanga, how about that? He's picked out Hudson-Odoi. Those two are making an impression, making a difference. And Hudson-Odoi has made an even bigger difference there. Nottingham Forest have snatched the lead at Anfield, where they've not won for 55 years. There's work to be done, but remarkably, they have the lead.
In other results, Manchester United blanked Southampton 3-0, Brighton and Ipswich drew 0-0, Crystal Palace came from 2 goals down to draw 2-2 with Leicester City, Fulham held West Ham to a 1-1 draw, Aston Villa outscored Everton 3-2, and in tomorrow's fixtures, Tottenham, they will host Arsenal, and the Wolves will welcome Newcastle. And now for a recap of the top stories making news at this hour. 2 of the 3 persons who died in this morning's motor vehicle accident on Eastwood Park Road in St. Andrew have been identified. The Kingston Public Hospital, KPH, has provided an update on the Burger King employees who sustained burn injuries following an explosion at the New Kingston restaurant on Wednesday. PNP describes the decision to mandate the presence of an ambulance at the Sangsa International Airport as a pothole fixing exercise. I'm Andrew Cannon. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 9 tomorrow morning, but stay tuned because the dynamic duo of Wayne Walker and Eric Swaby, they're up next with Sports Nation Live.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
Pocket on the budget, so me reach KFC. New crunchy box meal. That a for me a piece of chicken, 2 wings, biscuit, and a drink. Crunchy box of the flavor, so we make the lid. Value for your money, flavor and the taste. KFC, crunchy box run the place. So much variety, the box down a space. KFC, crunchy box run the place.
Crunch your craving with the new KFC Crunchy Box. A piece of delicious chicken, 2 hot wings, biscuit, and Pepsi for only $850. KFC is finger-licking good.
The future of manufacturing is now. Join the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, JMEA, in association with VM Group for an unforgettable evening on September 28, 2024 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. They're celebrating the industry's brightest minds and the groundbreaking achievements shaping Jamaica's future. Request your tickets at bit.ly/2024 awards tickets or email awards@jmea.org to learn more. Let's witness the future. September 28, 6:30 p.m., the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Okay, good afternoon. It's Saturday, September 14, 2024. Now, if you bowl it, we'll hit it for 6. If you pass it, we'll score it. Give us a pool, we'll dive in. And as fast as the starter's gun fires, we're at that finish line. I'm Alric Swaby. This is Sports Nation Live on Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and Flow Channel 916. You can also tune in to our program live on our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we'll open the lines at 7:30 to take your calls. Talk anything sports. The numbers to call are 876-630-9371, 876-630-9372, 876-630-9373, and 876-630-9374. Coming up, we have another packed and exciting show lineup for you. We'll be talking football, horse racing, NFL, and much more. But first, an athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24.
1 Corinthians 9 verse 24. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Did you notice when reading this verse that it doesn't say you must win or you will win? It is actually telling us that the kind of effort and dedication victory requires. Competing with integrity is the key here. Anyone can cheat and win, but what does that do us morally? It's not about winning at all costs or abandoning your values to do anything it takes to win. This is telling us we need to perform at our absolute best and have the self-discipline to compete in a focused, well-practiced, and strategic manner. If we do that, we will perform in such a way that will be nearly impossible to beat. Will we get beat sometimes? Absolutely. However, in performing with honor, we can feel victorious even in a loss.
Okay, so that was our athletics lesson from 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. No feature, you just had to be there. We relive essential quality in a gate-to-wire performance with Radish Roman in the saddle for trainer Oral Hayden, ramped to victory in the third staging of the Winston Griffiths Classic in September 2023.
They're off and running in the third running of the Winston Griffiths OD Classics, and right on the rail print quality. Gets a good start. Also there, that's Princess Sharon out wide. That's a Strike Smart. Just behind them, that's Burlap. Also there, that's Money Miser, California Gold. Then comes Richie Rich, Life is Life, scooting up against the rail and just left at the back of the field. Power from above. They come towards the, rolling on the backstretch, coming over to the 6 furlong point on the course, and it is essential quality, eking out a 3-length lead from Princess Sonia, settled back in second. Right there in third, that's Burlap. Right beside Burlap, that's a Strike Smart. Just behind them, that's Money Miser, waited with. About 2 lengths away before we come to California Gold and Richie Rich racing together. Then comes Life is Life and Power from Above racing at the back of the field. It is print quality. It make that essential quality on about a 5-length lead. Essential quality coming to the half mile in front. 5 lengths in front of Burlap racing in second, also coming on and now going down. That's Princess Sharon, I should say. So it's essential quality from Princess Sonia in second. Right there in third, that's Burlap. Then comes Strike Smart. Money Miser will have to do more running. Also coming on, that's Richie Rich, Power from Above. And then comes Life is Life, and still left at the back, California Gold. But it is essential quality, really traveling nicely, about 4 lengths, 5, 6, maybe more in front of Princess Sharon racing in second. Also coming on, that's Power from Above. Money Miser begins to get rolling, but might be too late. It is essential quality in the Winston Fanner Griffiths OD Classic in front. Essential quality taking them pillar to post. Essential quality is in front and will win easily in the end by about 6 lengths. Second is Princess Sharon. Then comes Richie Rich. Money Miser is fourth, and Power from Above is fifth.
Okay, so that was our feature. You just had to be there, where we relived essential quality in a gate-to-wire performance with Radish Roman in the saddle for trainer Oral Hayden, ramped to victory in the third staging of the Winston Fanner Griffiths Classic in September 2023. With that, we take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast, guilty. We top performance, guilty. Chakama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Pan select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some badminton now as we go over to the YMCA for a live report from the Jamaica Badminton Academy Shuttle Showdown Tournament with Wayne Walker.
Thank you very much, Alric. We're coming to you live from the Jamaica Badminton Academy Shuttle Showdown week number 1. And of course, the action is here. I mean, quite a decent turnout. When I drove in a short time ago, I was wondering why the facility was so full. And being that badminton is not one of the marquee sports, but of course, it's a really nice turnout here. And as I said before, it's week 1 of 2, and it's for the beginners. This week is for the beginners. And I tell you what, it does seem as if we're onto something special here as far as badminton is concerned. Without much ado, I'm going to go over to Mr. Matthew Lee, who is the co-founder, and he is also the director of the Jamaica Badminton Association. And he's going to sort of give us an insight into what's going on here. Matthew, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us on Nationwide 90 FM. Give us an overview of what's happening here at the YMCA. And in fact, I'm just going to try to bring him into the shot here because I'm not sure what's happening. But yeah, Matthew, can you just tell us exactly what's happening here?
Yeah, so pleasure to be on Nationwide. Amazing developments today. We have over 150 entries for the beginner and lower division this weekend. Amazing turnout. We have sponsors, vendors. It's going amazing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is just week 1 of 2, as I mentioned. We're going to be back here next week. But before we do that, tomorrow is going to be quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. Tell us about how tomorrow is shaping up based on what we've seen here today.
Yes, today, amazing developments again. The preliminary round for today. So the final round tonight would be the quarterfinals. Watch out for Sunday. We have the semifinals and finals. And watch out for next weekend. We have the advanced divisions and the finals on Sunday again.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, so tell me, the beginners, how many entrants you had today?
So we had over 50 entrants for beginners. And these are for people that never played a tournament before and have been playing for less than a year. We introduced this division to get more people into the sport, to try and push this to the international level, the Caribbean and Pan-American stage.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a bit more about the Jamaica Badminton Academy. You're a co-founder and you're also director. Tell me about it. When was it founded?
So I've been a national player for Jamaica for over 15 years. It's a big passion. And me and my co-founder, Kenneth, we're best friends. We started this as a passion project. And we really wanted to push badminton to the highest level in Jamaica because we have a rich history in Jamaica and we really want to push it back to that level.
Yeah. And for those of us who are not so familiar with you, Matthew, I'm sure people in the badminton fraternity must be. Are you still active at the national level, or you've segued into being an administrator?
So still active and playing. The upcoming Commonwealth Games is something I'm looking forward to attending, but I still want to give back in other ways, developing the younger players, really bring it to a commercial stage, and having badminton as a premier sport in Jamaica is one of my goals.
Yeah. Where are you going though with this academy? What's the end game?
So the end game is not only badminton. We want to put badminton to a top sport, compete on the Caribbean, Pan-American level. Eventually Olympics, looking to other racket sports and really taking over the scene.
Mm-hmm. Who are your partners?
So we have our sponsors. We have many sponsors, over 15 plus partners, ranging from people doing eyeglasses, to real estate, all these things. They're really giving back to the community. And a lot of these people were founded from badminton players and they're giving back. It's really, really good to see.
Yeah. So next week, it's going to be for advanced players, right?
So
what's the entry like so far? Or you've not yet opened entry?
Yeah, so the entry is already closed.
Oh.
And we have over 150 again. And very, very important development is that a lot of the players had an intensive training camp in China and they've come back about a week ago, and we've seen their skills already. Amazing development from them.
Mm-hmm. So those will be on show next week.
They're already here as well.
You have some here as
they're
well?
Doing amazing. Next week is even the Premier League for badminton. And I really want everyone to come out, especially on Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the finals is on Sunday. So come out, guys.
What sort of improvement have you seen, though? Because you have seen them before they left for China.
Yeah.
I know that they're back in the country. Give us an insight into what sort of improvement you're talking about.
Yes, so the players are fitter, they're sharper, their mental strength is higher. It was a 2-month course in China, and every day they were training, giving it their all. really, really nice to see from the athletes. They're really pushing their limits.
Were you in contact with them while they were there to sort of get an insight into what they were doing?
So my co-founder Kenneth was in the coaching camp in China, so learning skills on how to develop the players, and he was there every day with them, developing them.
How late are you going to go on tonight?
So we hope to be on time. So it starts from 9 a.m. and ends at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Yeah. Are we going to make this facility here at YMCA now, from now on, the place where the Jamaica Badminton Academy is sort of based? I mean, you take your meals, it's your drive,
So usually we have training at the Chinese Benevolent Association. We took this venue because it had a few more courts, but look into the future, maybe even the indoor center have a really, really big audience.
Yeah. It looks good. I must tell you, the arrangement looks good. There are 2 games on at any one time. Mixed doubles being played at the moment, and you say you want to get out of here by 7 o'clock. It's still by theory. How's the Jamaica Badminton Association sort of seeing your academy?
Yeah, so very, very good support from them. A lot of the officials and the volunteers come from the association. They really like to see badminton develop, and I'm happy we're getting their support.
Yeah. The national players are also involved with this.
National players have given their utmost support. Even the ex-national players have come out and support. They've paid their fees. They referred us to sponsors, and they really came out in their numbers today.
Mm-hmm. So for the advance, you take no more interest for the win.
Yeah,
so you can't take any more.
No, I'm sorry, because the schedule has to be done way in advance so it runs on time. So we did a lot of promotion. We sent out emails and made sure everyone secured their place.
Is this sort of how to get to the badminton game, or you could probably have done more?
So hopefully in the future we could even get more, but this is an amazing turnout. I can't stress enough the really love and support we got from the badminton fraternity and the previous generation.
One last question, what about corporate Jamaica? Were they sort of amenable to what you brought?
Definitely so. And our PR team, ND Communications, they really, really did a good job working with us, and they pushed to get as much funding as we can to make this as good as it should be.
Before we go, I'm sure you're not the only person involved with the organization. Could you just shout out 1 or 2 other people that have helped you to put this together?
Yeah, so big shout out to the co-founder Kenneth Anglin, Nicolette, who is the head of the PR team, and a big shout out to everybody in the badminton community, especially the umpires and volunteers and officials, really giving back. And I'm just doing this for the passion of the sport. Thank you.
Matthew, thanks so much.
Yeah.
And we hope to have another report before we leave here tonight. You see, you get up at 7, so we hope to get another one in. At that time, we probably want to talk to 1 or 2 others who are interested parties in the whole organization of this and to make it badminton as well.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you very much. All right, so there you have it, Matthew Lee. He's the co-founder and he's in fact a co-founder and director of the Jamaica Badminton Academy. And we're going to just turn the camera so you could have a look at some of the action that's taking place here at YMCA. And there you go. So just giving you insights into what's happening here. If you could just scan and look around to see what's happening. It's a mixed doubles going on at the moment. Very, very exciting action. And over on the other court, there's a men's singles on the show taking place. And as we mentioned, if you just come to the crowd to give you an insight into what's happening over this side as well. So there they are. We're here at the YMCA, and we're bringing you live reports and updates from the Jamaica Badminton Academy Shuttle Showdown, and it's week 1 of 2. So we're going to be closing out our report here. For those who are on our YouTube channel, I'm sure you're seeing the action here, and you have just seen Matthew Lee as well. And let me just stay with the action a bit so you could, before we go back, I know we're talking to 2 different audiences. Well, maybe the same audiences on 2 different platforms. But yeah, I'm sure Sports Nation Live doing this. We started it last week, and we hope to take all our reports live on the video and on radio throughout our coverage of Sports Nation Live going forward. So we're just looking at some more of the action. For those in Radio Land, bear with us a bit. Please get on the YouTube channel. We want you to see what we're covering. And we're here at the YMCA, just on Hope Road, covering badminton. It's sport that doesn't really get the sort of highlight that the so-called traditional sports get. And yeah, this is what it looks like. Matthew and his group, they've put together something brilliant. All right, I think you've seen enough. So I think I'm going to head back to the studios and put it back to you. But I'm sure you're going to be joining me a little later on for more reports from here at the Jamaica Badminton Academy Shuttle Showdown week number 1.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. So that was Wayne Walker coming to us live from the Jamaica Badminton Academy Shuttle Showdown Tournament. And we take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance, Jackama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy leg tools, free parts and free repairs. 3 parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex. We'll be working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some football now. As Manchester United boss Eric Ten Hag says, Marcus Rashford has received too much negativity recently and backed the goals to flow like ketchup from a bottle after the striker scored in the win at Southampton in the English Premier League today. The England forward got his side second in a 3-0 win at St Mary's.
It's back for Bruno Fernandes. So let's say the target, and Ramsdale can't do anything about that. Matthijs de Ligt, 2 minutes after a missed penalty at one end, a goal at the other. It could be a massive sliding doors moment for Manchester United. In from Rashford and in. Goal drought over. Manchester United out of nothing have 2 in 6 minutes. Just potentially. A 6-minute spell that gets their season off and running. Now Dalot, can they set the seal on him with goal number 3? They can indeed. Garnacho wraps it up. 3 goals, 3 points, and some welcome respite for Manchester United.
Now, Manchester United manager Eric Ten Hag shared his thoughts after the victory.
You backed De Ligt's character after a tough international break. He came for you today with a great performance and his first goal as well.
Yeah, very pleased, of course. Very happy for him as well. I know he has some very good attributes as a leader, but he's also a very good finisher in set plays, and that is one of the reasons we bought him.
And overall, you're very happy with how the game turned out, of course, after they saved the Monday night.
Yes, also I think that was turning point in the game. There we got momentum, and there you see how small the margins are. If we against Brighton and we score a goal, and it's crazy, disallowed. And today, after you concede a penalty, Andre catch him, and a couple of minutes after we scored a goal. From that moment on, it was our game.
You did worry just before that the penalty that Southampton felt like they were in control.
Not worried, but you have to find a footnote in the game, and that is every game, especially away from home. There's a good learning for this team how to do this.
Eric, we saw a very intelligent, very good performance by Ahmad. I think a lot of people expected Garnacho would probably start most of the games this season, but does that show what he brings to the team and how do you see his development?
No, actually, Ahmad starts the most games in this season so far because he is progressing very well. And he gives a lot to the team, as you say. You mentioned the word intelligence, yes. And I think he showed this in and out of possession. And he has some attributes that's always very pleasing for a manager and for a team.
There's still a number of second half changes. Some players think that they were injured or not. Is that cramp? Or?
It looks like, yeah. And as you know, we had many players on international duty. Also players intercontinental, really far away from Manchester, and then go away to Southampton again in June, then 12:30. It was a short turnaround for some players, but the lads did incredibly good. That is also what we demand and expect. But it's not an advantage when you have on this time and when you have so many players on international duty and you have to play a 12:30 game. So the credits for the lads and the team.
You said before the community show your team will take time to come together, maybe? Do you feel as if they're coming together better now?
Definitely do see in the games from the Community Shield on that this team is growing, but still needs time. We have to build this team, but I'm sure we will get there. But it will be hard work, but you see from game to game the improvements.
Eric, it felt to me after the Liverpool game that Marcus Rashford came in for an unfair amount of stick, considering the amount of chances he created. But today, after he scored, you can almost see the confidence grow in him visibly. How important was that moment in today's score attack?
It's very important, and we don't pay attention what the outside world is telling. But you are right. It was too much negativity to him because he created two great chances, 100% chances in that game as well, and also in other games in this season so far. He's playing very well, and he deserved that goal. But you have to work for it, and that is what he's doing in this moment. And then you get a reward. And I think he scored a great goal. He scored already so many goals for Manchester United, and he, on his age, the number of goals is amazing. And I'm sure he will score many more goals. But to get into a season for every striker is so important to be on the scoring list. And then you're building momentum, you're building belief, and then it will come into more goals.
Manchester United manager Eric Ten Hag. Now, Jean-Philippe Mateta's stoppage-time penalties rescued a draw for Crystal Palace as Oliver Glasner's team fought back from 2 goals down to draw 2-2 with Leicester City at Selhurst Park.
Being pieced together, but it's Vardy for Leicester City. Vardy going through the centre. The angle isn't good, but Vardy scores again at Selhurst Park. 37 is just a number, he says. But so too is 192, the amount of goals this seemingly ageless striker has scored for Leicester City. James Justin puts the ball into the penalty area. Opportunity here, and it's in. Mavididi scores right at the start of the second half. They're looking to take a point possibly here, Crystal Palace, in stoppage time. Mateta scores. Palace 2-2. And still feel that they can maybe go and get the winner on the day when Eddie Nketiah makes his debut for Crystal Palace. It's the top scorer from last season, Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Now, Danny Ings scored in the 95th minute to rescue a point for West Ham against Fulham at Craven Cottage. Ings was introduced as a last throw of the dice by manager Julian Lopetegui in the 82nd minute as he saved the Hammers from a second consecutive defeat.
He clips one forward, seeking Smith Rowe. Again, West Ham looking towards the assistant. It's kept in play and threading across to Raul Jimenez. And Fulham do take the lead, and they fully deserve it as well. Into the starting lineup here this afternoon, Raul Jimenez for the first time in the Premier League this season, and he makes his mark. And West Ham will have a throw, and it's that Soufal to Bowen connection again. Bowen keeps it alive. Danny Ings rescues a point for West Ham. In the nick of time, Danny Ings strikes. Well, they've left it late, but they're going to leave Craven Cottage with something here this afternoon.
Ings says he was happy to secure the point for his side.
Danny, you scored 72 Premier League goals, and I bet they all feel good, especially when you score away in the last minute to get a point.
Yeah, obviously it's a special goal for me. I've worked so hard for moments like this. So yeah, I'm just happy to come on and help the team. I got close against Villa when I came on. But yeah, to see it hit the back of the net today, I was buzzing.
Lovely goal too.
Yeah, Jazz doing what Jazz does, gets to the byline, and it was a perfect pass to me. It kind of made my decision easy to just take it back past the defender and yeah, slot it home. I was just buzzing.
The head coach said that was a very Danny Ings goal. I mean, you scored different types of goals, but that was when it was just being alert, good touch, superb finish.
Yeah, just trying to make something, happen around the box. And when I saw the ball coming towards me, I had nothing else in my mind, but to get my shot off, and lucky to see it go in the goal and celebrate with the fans was amazing.
We scored the right end of the pitch. It looked like the celebrations were good, weren't they? Proper.
Yeah, no, it was.
Proper stuff over there.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Last minute goals were special.
Yeah.
For the fans coming over and watching us today, it was a difficult game. Fulham are a good team. So yeah, to get a point, we can take a lot from today for sure.
Is that important to remember? I mean, obviously we came here last year, and it's a different season. That's irrelevant. But they are a good team, aren't they? So to come here and get a point is a good result.
It is a good result. I think the way the game went, and being 1-0 down with a few minutes left, for us to show character to go and nick a goal and to nick a point, I think is huge for us and for any team really doing that. So as I say, we can take a lot from today moving forward. But as a team, we're still learning new things under the coach, and yeah, we're just trying to improve every day.
Looking at Premier League, you've been around in the Premier League for over 10 years. Is it now there's no gimmies, are there? You don't go anywhere. Maybe back in the day you might have thought that there's games that you target wins from, but nowadays with all the money and the depth in squads, coming to places like this, there's anywhere it's tough.
Yeah, it's the best league in the world, and I think that's the reason for it. The gap is minimal in the Premier League. So you're in for a challenge every week, and different types of challenges as well, different styles of play you come up against. And as you said, Fulham are a very good team. They've got a lot of energy in their team. They have a lot of crosses, they create a lot of chances. So for us to come here and get a point today, I think is a fantastic result.
I heard Jared singing your name there through the door, but when he spoke to us, he talked about your attitude, he talked about your character, the fact that you come in, train and do that every day. So we talk to you, we know what you're like. I think we said this to you last year after, I think it was Sheffield United, that you're just going to keep doing what you do, and if you get minutes on the pitch, you'll try and do that every time.
Yeah, I love football. I've been doing it for so long. My fundamentals don't change, whether I'm playing, whether I'm not playing. The hard work never stops, and yeah, days like today make it worthwhile for sure.
Chelsea next week, fancy another one?
That'd be lovely, as long as I'm contributing to the team. Yes. Whether I'm playing or whether I'm around the lads and not starting, etc. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to be here for the boys and do well for the club.
Danny Ings. Now, a setback was how Arne Slot described his first defeat as Liverpool manager, while pundit Chris Sutton declared the honeymoon is over. Slot had led Liverpool to 3 wins out of 3 without conceding since replacing Jurgen Klopp in the summer, but they were frustrated by Nottingham Forest, who claimed their first win at Anfield since February 1969, thanks to Callum Hudson-Odoi's strike.
Elanga, how about that? He's picked out Hudson-Odoi. Those two are making an impression, making a difference. And Hudson-Odoi has made an even bigger difference there. Nottingham Forest have snatched the lead at Anfield, where they've not won for 55 years. There's work to be done, but remarkably, they have the lead.
Nottingham Forest manager Nuno Espirito Santo says it's a special feeling to break the 55 years winless drought at Anfield.
That was the first Forest win here since 1969. What are your thoughts on it?
I think we are very happy. Many of our fans today in the stadium, they were not even born. So that says how hard it is to play here at Anfield. So really happy, proud of the work of the players. They work very hard. Proud of the way we behave as a team. Overall, we knew how hard it was. It's gonna be the game. It's all about taking your chances in the right moment, and we did it.
Can I ask you about your tactical plans? It seemed like you came to kind of stifle midfield to begin with, and then bring on Elanga and Hudson-Odoi towards the end.
Yeah, we start with Elliot and Nico playing wide. Impossible to them to, after the defensive task that they had to do, always with these inside runs of the fullbacks. Impossible to last all the game. We knew that we had to make subs. They came in, impacted the game. Was good.
Two players made their debut today. What did you make of them?
Alex and
James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, James. We know already how experienced he is. I think he managed pretty well the game. Always in position. He has great knowledge of the game. That helps. Now we are in the process to try and introduce the ideas of the team, but he understands it's very, very easy. And then he has quality and talent and always a good position. Alex has the hard task ahead of us. 1v1s against Salah is very hard. I think he did well, but when he finished, he was really tired. But that's the proof that we need every player. The squad has to be ready because it's going to be a very long season.
What did you say to them at half time? Did you think the game was there to be won at that point? Did you think you could win it?
I was about trying to correct what we saw, especially when we let the balls go in the middle. Van Dijk was breaking us too many times. I think we're more compact in the second half. Yeah.
The substitution you made were really positive ones. You've got a lot of options on the bench. Is that easy for you to look at?
No, we don't. We lost 2 players, 2 important players. 3 today, Boli and the 2, Ibrahim and Danilo. Our 2 starting midfielders were not here. So, having options it's good. Today, Callum and Anthony came and impacted the game. Jota also did a good job. Morato came really well. Am I missing someone? Yeah. Now Nico Williams play on the left, all on the right. We are trying to build a squad, but we're going to need everybody. Some of them are going to start, some of them are going to come in the game, and we have to be ready. For everything.
Now, Liverpool manager Arne Slot is disappointed his team couldn't convert their superior ball possession into goals.
What are your reflections on that and where do you feel it went wrong today?
I think the only thing we had influence on was ball possession, because they played a lot of long balls, so if you then take the ball back, you need to go past 11 players. And we had a lot of ball possession, but only managed to create 3, 4 quite good chances. So that's by far not enough against it. If you have so much ball possession, if you play so much on their half, we need to be much better, and we lost the ball so many times in simple situations. So, that is, I think, the main story from the game. Ball possession, not good enough.
International break, game happened from the notoriously. Do you think that is really the issue?
It's always difficult to say this, but I don't think it has anything to do with it. Players came back strong, and I saw today also a team that wanted to fight till the end. So it had not to do, in my opinion, with energy, but we simply had the ball a lot, and we had to create from ball possession. If you look at the goals we've scored till now, there were also we also scored quite a few from transition moments. So. From winning the ball back and then go into transition, but the other team played over our press a lot with a lot of long balls. So, like I said, we got the ball mostly in our last line, and then it wasn't good enough today. Also because too many individual performances in ball possession were not of the standards that I'm used to from these players.
Do you regard it as a big setback to the process? Just a minor blip?
Not to the process, but it is a big setback. Setback. So if you lose a home game, that's always a setback, and especially after if you face a team, we never know. Maybe they will go all the way to fight for Champions League tickets. But normally this team is not ending up in the top 10. So if you lose a game against them, that's a big disappointment. Although they were organized and structured really well today.
How will you react to this? What do you do in this situation?
I want to see the same attitude every single day. After a big win, after a small win, after a draw, after a loss. So it's just go out to work again tomorrow, analyze what we did well and what we didn't do well. So there were enough things we could improve from the Man United game. That's also what we showed them. We showed them also a few good things, and that's going to be the same tomorrow and the day after. But this is a different game than the one we've played till now, because we faced a low block. So the team was playing, the team we faced played really low, and that's because of a result of that we had a lot of ball possession.
Liverpool manager Arne Slot. Now, Erling Haaland scored twice to take his Premier League tally to 9 as Manchester City recovered from conceding after just 23 seconds to maintain their 100% record with a 2-1 victory over Brentford.
Looking to attack as well with Keane Lewis Potter, and a problem for Manchester City, and a goal inside 25 seconds. Remarkable from Brentford. The warning is clear at the start of the season and this match. Underestimate Brentford at your peril. Grealish looks for Kovacic. In turn finds Walker. Maybe thought about hitting it. It rolls Haaland's way! And you know what happens next. His insatiable appetite for goals is equalled by his frightening ability to score them. Oh, and Haaland just bumps his way past Pinnock, through on goal! And when that happens, there is never any doubt. It's goal scoring on another level from the man of the moment, Erling Haaland.
Now, City manager Pep Guardiola says he wasn't surprised by how tough the game was.
It's obviously been a really difficult week for Erling. You know, to produce a performance like that. Can you just talk about his performance and what he's been through? And was it just this morning that he decided, did he tell you he was fine to start?
No, yesterday. Yesterday to the lineup, and he knew it. Of course, have been a tough. When a close family passed away at that age, it's difficult for every human being. But the other day he came back, was a little bit down, but locker room. And we try to take care everyone here, so we take care of each other. So when someone has a problem, you have to be close to them. And yesterday was much better. His mood was, making jokes. It was better, and the best way, sometimes forget things, do your job. And he's doing since many years perfectly.
And just on the goals, I mean, not the best first half an hour or so, but when you've got a player like that, I mean, he just wins games for you.
Yeah, right. So the first half, I don't remember 8-9 years a team playing the way they played Brentford the first 20-30 minutes. And I give credit to them. So we were not our best, it's not easy to handle, not even 1 minute, concede a goal, and these kind of things, it's not easy to handle it, but they deserved to maybe 0-2. So 0-3, I don't know. They create, every time had the ball, create a chance. I don't remember team like creating this type of situation. Long balls, winning duels, short passes, they break the lines, quick in the transitions, strong in every corner and every set pieces. So it's an extraordinary team. So we suffer it since they were promoted in the Premier League. All the games against Brentford from Thomas have been like that. So I don't remember an easy game. Maybe last season there when Phil scored a hat-trick, but the rest have been so tight. And always I give because they are really good, not because we were bad. And sometimes you have to understand the opponents are really good, and they are. But the second half, we were lucky with the 2-1 up, so the second half was our best, and we created a lot of chances, and we could score more.
City manager Pep Guardiola, no substitute. John Durant's sensational long-range strike earned Aston Villa a memorable Premier League comeback victory as Everton crumbled from 2-0 up for the second consecutive game.
At the other end. Oh, he's been allowed to go here, Dwight McNeil. And McNeil got a shot away and scored a super goal. Well, that has stuck a pin in Villa's balloon. Amadou Onana is floored and Everton are uplifted. In by McNeil, Calvert-Lewin got big and Everton are 2 to the good at the Villa. Delicious service, immaculate execution. Onana, Dean, Watkins, Holten feeling it again. How Ollie Watkins has thirsted for that. Aston Villa bang back in it. Tielemans beautifully weighted and Watkins 2 each. He's firing again. And once again a 2-goal Everton lead has gone missing. Tielemans, Barkley, Duran. Oh, wonderful. Just wonderful. That is a princely strike from John Duran. Open mouth or Villa's day, Everton's dismay.
Now Villa manager Unai Emery says the fans played a big role in their victory.
Unai, congratulations, a very hard-earned victory for you tonight.
Good evening, but very happy because for the support it was amazing. Of course, we started losing 2-0. We were playing well. And we were dominated, we were imposing more or less our position in creating chances. We didn't score and we conceded two opportunities of them and they scored. But the supporters, they were really understanding how we could come back the result. It's through, be patient, playing with our structure, don't change nothing, and try to be patient because we were getting their box and we were creating chances. And we scored 1 goal the first half, but we created more chances. And the second half, progressively, we got the same structure, the same in area. The supporters, they were helping us, supporting us, understanding as well as we. And we came back. But even we conceded 2 very good chances of them. And I think being demanding in our way. Today I have to be happy and of course try to continue the good things we did in our process as a team and then try to avoid some circumstances we considered today.
And the winner was a very, very special goal. It'll be talked about for a long time.
Who, sorry?
The winner, John Duran's goal.
Okay, yes. Yes, but John Duran, he did it last year. I remember he scored 1 goal like that against Liverpool, against Ajax Amsterdam. His shoot is fantastic, and he's trying. And of course, when he's trying, we are confident when he can score 1 goal like that. And he kept being good impact, like the first matches he played, scoring goals. Today was very important as well. Watkins, for his confidence, for the helps he's doing scoring goals, how he scored 2 goals and how he helped us today to win the match. And I think we have to be proud of our 2 strikers and try to continue playing with both. Sometimes they are playing 1 striker, sometimes like today 50 minutes more or less playing both. And we have to try to use our different players with our structure, trying to get better and trying to use their good moment.
Unai Emery, Aston Villa's manager. Now Chelsea, they beat Bournemouth 1-0 in the late kickoff. In tomorrow's fixture, Tottenham Hotspur, they will host Arsenal. Wolves, they welcome Newcastle United. Now, after 4 rounds, Manchester City, they lead the standings with 12 points. Liverpool are second with 9 points. Same as Aston Villa. However, the Reds have a superior goal difference. Brighton sits at fourth with 8 points. Nottingham Forest on 8 points rounds out the top 5. With that, we take a quick break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Prevent outages before they happen. F&E Energy's preventative maintenance keeps your business running. Stay prepared, stay operational. Contact F&E Energy to schedule a free consultation. F&E Energy, powering Jamaica's businesses, one generator at a time.
Are you ready for a patio makeover you can afford? Then come to Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. We now offer a new line of beautiful, truly affordable furniture that will make your outdoor space look amazing. And you won't find it anywhere else at these prices. Get that high-end look that is sure to impress, easy in-store financing, and island-wide delivery options too at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Witter Village Mall, Montego Bay, and ParadisePatioJamaica.com.
Tune in to our program live from our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we're also on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Good evening, welcome back to Sports Station Live. I'm Alex. We'll be working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. We'll be talking some track and field now, as several Caribbean athletes were crowned Diamond League champions for the 2024 two-day finale, which ended today in Brussels. These include Jamaica's Akeem Blake and Tajay Gale. Blake, competing in his first ever Diamond League final, won the men's 100 meters in 9.93 seconds, destroying a quality field that included two former world champions, Christian Coleman, who was second in 10 seconds flat, and Fred Curley, third, 10.01.
Coleman gets out fast as you'd expect. Blake is right there with him as well. Fred Curley with some work to do. It's Blake and Coleman in the front at the moment. Coleman might just have this one. It's going to be close, but Blake hangs in. Blake gets the win.
Now, Olympic champion Julian Alfred of St. Lucia won the women's 100 meters in 10.88 seconds. She beat Diana Asher-Smith into second in 10.92, and third, Maria Jose Talou. Shakari Richardson finished sixth.
Away first time, really solid start from Asher-Smith, but so was Alfred, and Alfred giving it all here and using that power. Coming back is Talou-Smith, but look at the run there from Dina Asher-Smith to get close to Julian Alfred. Wow! And where was Shakari Richardson?
Alfred says she's looking forward to go home to St. Lucia and celebrate with her fans.
Julian Alfred, you're ending the season with a win, another win. You've had a lot this year. I mean, talk to me kind of just on this race. Was there any pressure coming in here to really end your season on a high?
No, there was no pressure for me whatsoever. I felt like if there was pressure, it would be Zurich, because Zurich got my first race after the Olympics. But I think after that loss, I changed my mentality a little bit just to like almost feel like I'm chasing somebody. So it helped me change my mindset, and I feel like I was a little too relaxed after the Olympics. I was just trying to enjoy the rest of the season, but after Zurich, it just kind of changed my mind.
And I mean, I was looking, and you had run, entering this year, I think your best was like 10.81 or something like that. Right. This year, you'd run 10.8 or 10.7 like 6 times throughout the entire year. Yeah. I mean, what do you attribute that consistency running so high at such a high level?
I would say it's a lot, to be honest. Mentally, like I had to work so hard mentally. My coach worked on my technique a lot and my stride length a lot. So we worked like tirelessly on just trying to just focus on just my lane and not anybody else. Because sometimes when I do that, I tend to tighten up and panic. So I think I worked on a lot of it was really mental and physical going through the season.
And now only a year and a half out from NCAAs, right? Finishing at Texas.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a professional?
I try to not look at it that way. And I think looking at it that way kind of put pressure on me to go out and feel like I have to like have these amazing performances. But I try to think of myself as just human and just going out there and just trying to just have fun with the sport and just not put pressure on myself.
There you go. It's clearly working.
Yeah.
And now, as we end off the season, you're going to get a chance to go home for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most? How's that kind of feeling for you?
Just celebrating with my country, Earlier on, after the Olympics, I would say, I was talking about going home, but I think it didn't really sink in yet that I was actually going to go home and celebrate because I was still trying to finish the season and focus on my races. But now I'm just looking forward to just going home and seeing my friends, seeing my family, seeing my people again, and just celebrating and just getting a chance to relax after this long season.
There you go. A lot of people are so proud of you.
Thank you.
Julian Alfred. Now, Gail, the 2019 world champion, produced one big jump on his third attempt to win the men's long jump with 8.28 meters. Kieran McLeod was fifth with 7.85 meters, while Olympic silver medalist Wayne Pinnock was sixth with 7.43 meters. Natoya Gould-Toppin finished a creditable third in the women's 800 meters in 1 minute 58.94 seconds as Kenya's Mary Murray won in a season's best 1 minute 56.56 seconds. Shanika Ricketts had to settle for second in the women's triple jump with 14.22 meters, while Akila Smith finished third with 14.11 meters. The event was won by Cuba's Layanis Hernandez. Frederick Lakers landed 61.63 meters for fifth in the men's discus as Olympic champion Matthew Denny won with a new lifetime best meet record and a national record 69.96 meters. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone won the 400 meters invitational in 49.11 seconds as Stacey Ann Williams finished second in 50.56 seconds and Stephanie Ann McPherson fourth with 51.24 seconds. McLaughlin-Levrone says she's just having fun.
Just wanted to get one more. I was hoping to go a little bit faster, but I think the weather was definitely not on my side today. But just happy to be here, get the experience, race in Europe. There's an amazing crowd, and yeah, just having some fun. Excited for the 2. I got to go rest up so I can get ready.
McLaughlin-Levrone. Meanwhile, Dominican Republic's Marilady Paulino won the 400 meters diamond championships in 49.45 seconds. With that, we take up another break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Good health starts with proper hydration. Hydrate your body with Hydrate. Hydrate is purified natural water from rocks 110 feet below the ground. You have never tasted water so great, yet so affordable. Yes, taste and experience it for yourself. Water at its best. Hydrate. Available also as purified alkaline water and ultra-purified distilled water. Bottled by LLNSCS Limited, a subsidiary of Max Pharmaceuticals. Call 876-983-6466. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Clip you stalking?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Click News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good evening and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alric Sweeby working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Now we go back over to the YMCA for a live report from the Jamaica Badminton Academy Shuttle Showdown Tournament with Wayne Walker. Wayne, good evening again.
Thank you, Alric, and very welcome back to the YMCA. We're here covering, of course, the Jamaica Badminton Academy Shuttle Showdown, and it's week number 1. We heard from Matthew Lee earlier today, and then I'm going to be talking to Brianna Burke. I think I should go this side so if we can capture her well. And she's, of course, the director, one of the directors.
Event coordinator.
Event coordinator. And yeah, Brianna, I'm not sure we're not getting you all. Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, so Brianna, you're one of the head coach and bottle water for this event. We heard a lot from Matthew earlier today. He did tell me that we're at the quarterfinal stage. As opposed to the 16 when they get to the quarterfinal, which is 16 now. What do you do in your role as event?
So as event coordinator, I listen to the organizers or the head of the club, so the head of Jamaica Badminton Academy. They said they share their vision, you know, how they want this to be executed, and then I go ahead, do the different steps to ensure we execute the vision.
And folks, for those of you listening on radio, if you join our YouTube channel, you'll see Brianna, and we're here. Big chat to find out what's going on. So tomorrow is going to be a big day, yeah? It's the big day where the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the final will take place. How many players in this week 1 who are playing are known in badminton circles? Because Matthew did tell me that these are for players who have not yet played the tournament.
Yes, so we did have a first time, a beginner division, where persons who would, play football, never played a tournament before, got an opportunity to come and showcase their talent, playing less than 3 months. Mm-hmm. First time international, so they came out and they executed. They look very good. The talent is there, and we're just looking for it to execute and just, do the things.
Yeah. Well, tell me what sort of year badminton has had in Jamaica. I mean, I've not heard a great deal about it. I know some went to China. They're back some playing here today, and I'm sure you'll be looking forward to seeing more as we go along. But what sort of year badminton has had?
So we've had a good year. You know, we got a new association, Jamaica Badminton Association, came into office October 2023. So we've had ongoing tournaments. We had tournaments at Kings in February, I believe. We had a Doubles Mania. We have another tournament. So this is the first of its kind. We also had a tournament by Jamaica JVC, another club, which was, you know, specific for or disabled athletes, which we do have a lot playing badminton. So that was great to have. So we've had a pretty active year, and we're just looking forward to build on it and to have a better year.
Yeah. Where do you go from here? After this tournament, I mean, it's going to be continuing next week because it's week 2. But after this tournament, what is there for badminton before December?
So we have 3 more tournaments for the calendar, the year calendar. We have a tournament which will be a junior championship as well as a divisional championship in October, the weekend of the 10th to the 12th. Then we'll have the final All Jamaica, the biggest tournament for the year in November. In over 2 weekends, we'll have our juniors in the first weekend and then our seniors in the last week, in the second weekend.
It's a competitive fraternity.
It is actually, it's growing. We are seeing a lot of beginners. As we said, you know, the division for beginners is great. We had a lot of players coming out that we've never seen before. So it was nice to see them on the competitive side. We see players who used to play that haven't played in a while coming back in and competing. So the scene is pretty active, and we just want to allow continuous play, you know, keep them engaged. We don't want anybody to get bored, get tired. So, yeah, we're doing good.
What about the national teams?
So the national team, so the team would have gone to China to train for 2 months in first summer intensive in July and August. So they're back now. They went, they had a great time. You know, we do see the results of the tournament today, and we're looking forward to see more. And from that, we're going to, you know, start the association will, you know, continue that and build on the foundation in China.
What do you think is responsible for this renewed sort of interest or renewed commitment? Because you see, I think things are getting back. What's responsible for this renewed?
I believe we all, you know, whether it's the association, players, coaches, believe that, you know, we have to come together to build a sport. You know, when we are no longer around, what's left of badminton? We have to leave our legacy. We have to build on what, you know, was built in the past and just keep it burning. You know, the association is new. They're coming with and we're going to keep up the engagement, start from the grassroots level. So we have players, you know, new players coming in. So there's always competition. There's always, you know, fun, excitement.
Those who went to China, right, the administrators and the coaches, they didn't just go there to sort of get knowledge for themselves. How are you guys going to be deploying them?
So we actually have Badminton Month coming up in November this year. The first weekend is at Summit. So it's essentially a summit for all sports, not just badminton. And in the, you know, one of the sections of that summit will just be, you know, what was learned for coaching. You know, it's not necessarily just badminton technique, but just discipline. You know, the Chinese are very disciplined. So, you know, we'll be doing different presentations from physiotherapists coming in to therapists, as in psychotherapists coming in, just mentally preparing athletes who, you know, want to go on that player pathway to Olympics, to just playing on the, you know, the international circuit. So that's the plan, to use what was developed, learned, and to share it with the community at that city.
And finally, the most important people. You may not know who's watching you right now, because different people from different parts of the world are watching you, and you're live, right?
Yes.
Both on radio and also on our YouTube platform. Use this opportunity to tell corporate, to make our corporate, wherever who are watching, why it's important that they join and help support that mention.
So first, I just want to say thank you to Zalco, ND Communications, Havens Beauty, Lifespan, Premier Optical, Chaffee Ramston, Shop Tech, you know, Jamaica Sotheby's, you know, they came on board, you know, we just reached out, they were yes, go. We were able to stage a good first competition. However, we do hope that, you know, corporate Jamaica will come on board. They'll see what we have started and help us to build on it. There's so much more that can be done and we can build on. You know, the environment is good. As you can see, we do have a lot of spectators, players, just watchers, you know, people just passing by, intrigued by the sport. You know, it can be played from, you can hold a racket to all ages. We have persons over 60, over 70 still playing badminton. So it's a great sport. It keeps your mind going. It's a very mental sport. My coach always tells me badminton is 8% physical, 8% is 20% physical and 8% mental. So it is a sport that keeps your mind going and reducing. So, you can support a child and also support an also member of the society community. And that's quite important too.
Is it a hard sell, the sport?
It isn't, because it is a minor sport. It's still a developing sport. But we believe we're on an upward trajectory, and we do believe and we hope that those listening will come on board. We're grateful for who we have on board already, and we look forward to growing bigger and better.
Apart from your role here in this tournament, what's your role in the big badminton?
So I am a council member and head of tournaments. I do that. I'm a coach, a level 1 badminton coach. I also play with my club squad. I'm very involved in badminton. I believe you have to be the change you want to see. I'm very passionate about badminton, and I just jump in and fill in wherever I can to hopefully one day build a sport and see the sport.
Granny, thanks so much for stopping and talking to us. How do you find time to do anything else with so much involvement in badminton?
Honestly, it's just love and passion. I'm very passionate about badminton, and I do want to see the sport grow. I came in and I was not pleased with where the sport was, and I'm just doing my part to give back. And hopefully others will see what I have done and, use it as motivation to do it as well.
Thank you very much, Brianna.
Thank you too.
There you go. And Albert, before I go, I have some results here for you. We just got some the results group in the round of 16. Rashado McDonald defeated Jude George 21-8, 21-19. There was also a result here from Ritik Gupta. He defeated Trevor Hunt 21-19, 21-18. Selpan Zhang defeated Tafari Dennis with his one. Actually, it was a walkover for Zhang. Nicholas Bonner was also a winner. He defeated Marvin McGregor 21-13, 21-9. And Joshua Lawrence was a winner of Sebastian Lawrence 21-17, 21-15. There's another walkover here for Michael Shaw over Jay Price and Matthew Robinson. I saw this name earlier, but he was a winner here 21-12, 21-14 over Andre Mass and Cedric Wardley defeated Jesse Grant Myers 21-12, 21-14. So, this is pretty much it from the YMCA. The second report here from the Jamaica Badminton Academy. The showdown, and we're going to be back here next week for the second week when the more advanced players are going to be in action. I don't think they have a great deal more to go here tonight. They're hoping to get out of here by 7 o'clock. If we can squeeze in one more report before we close off, then we'll do so. But at the moment, when I head back to the studios, where Alex Kirby continues with Sports.
Thank you, Wayne. Now, before we go to the break, let me give you an update on the scores in the Issa Digicel Manning Cup football competition. Kingston College, they hammered Cumberland 18-0. Stats, they clipped Calabar 1-0. Jamaica College beat Ascot 11-0. Excelsior, they stopped Bridgeport 7-1. St. Catherine, they beat Holy Trinity 4-0. And St. George's College, they blanked Papine 10-0. Now, in the Issa Water, the Costa Cup competition. Let me see if I can get scores up for you. Today's round of matches are in the Issa Water, the Costa Cup football competition. Now, Kempsale, they beat Vere Technical 2-0. Cornwall College, they clipped Malden 1-0. Herbert Morrison, they beat St. James 3-0. Green Pond and Irwin drew 3-3. Anchovy, they beat Rossies 1-0. Grange Hill, they lost Black River 2-1. Mannings blanked Godfrey Stewart 9-0. Spot Volley, they beat Cedric Titus 2-0. Williams Nibs beat Holland 5-0. Stets and Lacovia drew 1-1. Monroe College beat BB Coke 1-0. Magati, they beat Newell 2-0. Clarendon College, they beat Lennon 2-0. Glenmuir beat Garvey Marcia 2-0. Fogo Road blanked Porus High 6-0. Happy Grove, they beat Morant Bay 3-1. And Port Antonio, they beat Wycliffe Martin High 2-0. So those are some of the final results in the Issa Water the Costa Cup football competition. With that, we take a break and we come back with our NFL segment with Jerome Jarrett.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by Isratech Jamaica Limited. In the event of a hurricane, ensure that there is adequate amount of water harvesting done prior to the hurricane. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by Isratech Jamaica Limited. Telephone 876-754-5443.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening.
Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Weber, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Now we're in our Gridiron segment with host Jerome Jarrett, and there's been a lot of exciting results from last week Bruno matches, and there are some good games coming up. So we won't waste a lot of time with anything else. We'll just throw right over to Jerome Jarrett, where he'll introduce the segment, Jerome's Gridiron.
What are you doing, Alec?
I'm always blessed.
You alright?
I'm always blessed.
You alright?
I'm great.
Sure, you alright? What happened this morning? Tell the fans, because you were very vocal last week. I want you to keep the same energy you had last week. Keep the same energy, man. How was this morning?
This morning I was watching the Diamond League. There were some good races. I love the races at the Diamond League. I enjoyed yesterday's races as well. Akeem Blake, he won the diamond for the 100
meters. You're beating around the bush, Alec. You're beating around the bush, Alec. I want to know what happened when Liverpool played this man. That's what I want to know. And Man United played this man. We're not going to get into the Man United game. Just let the fans know we won 3-0. What happened with the Liverpool match?
We had a blimp in our journey. It's just a small blimp, like our close coach Slot said. So we're going to get back on track next week. It's as simple as that.
So you got up for the big game last week, but this week you what happened?
No, like I said, it's a blimp. There's a time when the underdog just have a good game. It was just their days to shine, and that's just it.
Okay, I'll be the bigger man this week, Alec. I'll be the bigger man this week. I won't rub it in, I'll show some class.
Because there's there is nothing to rub it. I mean,
I'll show some class, Alec. I won't rub it in.
Accidentally scoring one. I mean, the ball going through a field of players and keeping not
Alec,
seeing it.
Alec, when you lose with class. Lose with class. You lost to a better team.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You lost to a better team.
I lost to a luckier team on the day.
Listeners, good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Alec. Remy and Paul, how you doing? I know you guys must be wounded as well, because I know you're secret Liverpool supporters.
Well, I'm not a secret Liverpool. Yeah, well.
So how are you doing, Remy?
I'm doing just fine. I mean, it's a Premier League, I mean, these things happen. I mean, nobody said Liverpool was going to go undefeated.
No, nobody definitely didn't say that.
No,
There's
we're not
nobody
going
that
to
said
defeat
that.
it. What I'm looking forward to is when Man U plays Nottingham Forest. That's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, man, it will be. It will be. Get ready for the bloodbath. Get ready for the bloodbath.
Yes. United will be destroyed. At least we agree on something.
But anyway, let's get into some NFL. The reason why we're here. Let's start with where Jerome was right, where Jerome was wrong. Jerome was right last week because Jerome said that week 1 there's going to be a lot of, there's going to be a lot of upsets, and last week was filled with upsets, but is really not the ones we predicted. We were very bad. We were very bad last week, and I can admit that I was wrong, but where I was right, I predicted that last week would have been a topsy-turvy week for most teams, but where Jerome was wrong though, I mean, I really thought Cincinnati would walk all over New England Patriots. I really did not expect New England to go into Cincinnati and come away with a W. Paul, but in hindsight, looking back, we should not really be surprised because Cincinnati starts slow every single year. I mean, how could we have missed that so badly? Paul?
I mean, from my perspective, though, there's this narrative that they always start the year slow. I think it kind of wanes as a tired sentiment now. I'm somewhat concerned because it's not the same team that they've had in the past. They've lost players like Mixon. Higgins is not happy. Chase isn't happy because he hasn't had his contract. And I think Burrow, as much as we want to say he's completely recovered from that injury, he looks like he's still trying to find his footing, especially with just, the little nigglings that they've been paying attention to. So it's an interesting kind of period for the Bengals that they play a team this week that, I don't expect them to win, but it's going to be a pivot for them as far as how the rest of the season will go going forward.
Yeah, where Jerome was wrong, I don't think I'll ever do this again. I had the New York Giants to beat a Minnesota team that
I told you.
That the I really thought that Daniel Jones would come out and silence his critics last week.
No, bro.
I really did not expect Sam Darnold to go 12 straight passes, completions, and I think he missed 2 passes the entire game. I did not see that coming from Sam Darnold. But I want to not overreact to week 1, Remy. I mean, were you as surprised as I am how good Sam Darnold play? And was it just the Giants messing the bed, or Minnesota is a formidable team?
Well, I think on the day it was a combination of the two, and Paul made a really good point last week when he was talking about the Vikings head coach and Ken O'Connell, who is fast becoming one of the better play callers in the league. Sam Darnold is a veteran. All they ask him to do is to keep the game simple, don't make any mistakes, because you can count on Daniel Jones making some mistakes, and that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, it was surprising that the game was as lopsided as it was. I mean, I picked the Giants because at home, I thought they had a good chance against Sam Darnold, who is not an established starter. But I think on the day, the Vikings were the better team, better prepared, well-rounded team. And, they did what they had to do to win the game, So, I mean, are we surprised that, Daniel Jones, again, wet the bed? No. I mean, we were hoping that he wouldn't, and I bet you right now that the Giants fans are missing Saquon Barkley.
Let's see. Where Jerome was wrong, I really thought Cleveland would come out at home season opener, a full season, a full off season with Deshaun Watson, and stomp all over the Dallas Cowboys. But Dallas went in there and punched them in the mouth. Announcing before the game that Dak had become the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Dallas went in and manhandled a Cleveland team that should be the more physical team. Paul, are we overreacting to week 1? Is this the Deshaun Watson looks shot? Like, he looks like he's gotten too many massages. Like, he just looks bad, like a bad quarterback. Where are we overreacting?
Really, Jerome? Too many massages?
Are we overreacting to week 1? Where did we went? Where we went wrong in this
game? I don't think it's an overreaction because this kind of decline from Deshaun Watson has been coming from last season. Ever since he had his personal off-the-field issues, signed this contract with the Cleveland Browns, I think we could pretty much say he only played one half of football where we could kind of compare him to what he used to be in Houston. And when you look at that team, they're stacked on defense. They were the best defense in the league, probably only second to Baltimore last season. And their offense is filled with talent. And so the real issue is at the quarterback position, and that man he doesn't look like himself. I think he needs to feel things, well, not feel things out, but, probably look into himself.
I saw what you did there.
He needs to look into himself and find a way to mentally get past a lot of these things, because something isn't necessarily right between his ears.
Well, I mean, he has to work it out. Like, he has to get somebody to work it out for him. But again,
no, he doesn't need somebody to work it out for him. Trust me.
Again, where Jerome was wrong. I'm not the biggest Mike Tomlin fan, but Mike Tomlin gets his team to play hard. You know what I mean? I don't think he knows anything about offense, but he knows how to motivate men. I mean, Pittsburgh Steelers went in and won a game by 8 points. They won a game by 8 points against an Atlanta team that many people has as a shoo-in for the playoffs. I mean, how sustainable is this, Remy? And again, I don't want to overreact to week one, but how sustainable is this, where your kicker has to kick 6 field goals to win a game, and you keep a team out of the end zone for this can't be sustainable. Is this how Pittsburgh is going to be all year?
Well, again, as the catchphrase for this evening's show is, we're trying not to overreact to week one. You're absolutely right. It is not sustainable. But you see, when you're looking at teams matching up, we tend to get caught up in the soldiers that are actually fighting the battles, and we're not looking at the generals that are leading the respective armies. And Mike Tomlin has proven that he is a fantastic coach. I mean, he finds ways to win, quote unquote, without a quarterback.
I don't mean to cut you, but is there a difference between a leader of men and a coach?
I think a head coach, one of the qualifications should be a leader of men. Now, that being said, not all head coaches are leaders of men. Some are great strategists and tacticians.
Sorry.
Say again?
You were saying Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy, I was coughing, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, and I think also it helps when you have a defense that has arguably the most destructive player on the defensive side of the ball in NFL in Mr. TJ Watt. I have lost track of how many clutch sacks, how many clutch QB hits and pressures he gets at the right time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, that being said, the Steelers have to find some footing on the offensive side of the ball, and I believe that if they are average offense, meaning let's say they're ranked anywhere between 15th and 17th in the league offensively and can put up, in the low 20s in points scored per game, they will be a playoff team.
Well, I can't see it. Justin Fields look like he can't throw the ball. Russell Wilson, I'm not sure what's happening there, but you cannot win games in the NFL kicking 6 field goals every week. Like they were playing indoors. They weren't even playing outside in the elements. They were playing indoors in Atlanta, and you kick 6 field goals in a game. It's just, for me, it's just not sustainable. But we'll see what happens. I mean, the bar in Pittsburgh is now winning seasons, so let's see. If he can pull out eight more of these, then he should retain his job. Paul, all the rookie quarterbacks this week did not look good. I mean, Caleb Williams was hyped. Drake May didn't see the field. Jay Daniels saw some playing time. Who was the other rookie that started this week?
Bo
Nix. Why you call look good? I mean, I thought all of them looked below average. Again, week one. Yeah. What was your initial reaction of all the rookie quarterbacks, and if you were to say one of these guys stood out, who would be that person?
I think the word that I'd use is underwhelming. And it's kind of expected, because despite all the hype that people put on, like a Caleb Williams, for example, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a young man that's coming into a different level of football. You saw him trying to make plays out there that he probably make in college, trying to run away from linemen, and then realizing these guys can run as fast as I can, and also realizing that there's a difference between the season and the preseason. So there's that. But as far as giving a good impression to me, I really like how Jalen Daniels just went out there and produced. He moved the ball. He was effective running. He didn't look like he did not belong. And at the end of the day, despite not necessarily wowing people, this is a young man that has a lot of growth potential. And in my mind, look way better for the pro game than Caleb Williams.
I mean, Remy, what were your thoughts on the cohort? First game, initial thoughts.
On who? On
the cohort, a quarterback. Yes.
Well, I made sure to watch Caleb Williams. That Tennessee Bears game was intriguing from the standpoint that, with all the hype and everything that Caleb came in, I just wanted to see how he would, do in his first NFL game, and his performance on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give him a 4. His team did not score an offensive touchdown. He looked panicked. He looked skittish. He left the pocket early, and as Paul said, when he realized that he could not outrun the athletes in the NFL, he didn't know what to do. I mean, he made a few throws that put the ball in harm's way. So, I mean, he has a lot of work to do. As for Jaden Daniels, of the three, mind you, I didn't really see much of Bo Nix, but I watched the Washington game. And the takeaway for me with Jaden Daniels is that he did not look overwhelmed by the moment. He is definitely a superior fast-twitch athlete. He made a couple of spectacular runs outside the pocket. He didn't put the ball in harm's way passing. He was accurate. He missed a couple balls. And a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give him like a 6.5. I mean, he clearly has some work to do. And to be fair to both Caleb and Jaden, as well as Bo Nix, they played really good NFL defenses to start the season. So, I mean, it's a work in progress for all three. We just have to take a deep breath and watch. But I liked what I saw with Jaden of the three.
Finally, we get to where Jerome was right. I've been on record on the show many times. I'm not a Tua Tagovailoa fan. I've never liked his mechanics. I thought he was small. I didn't like his arm strength. I did not think Miami needed to pay him. I thought he should have retired after the second concussion. And lo and behold, this guy gets another concussion on national TV in a national spotlight game. Paul, is this time for Tua Tagovailoa to consider calling it a career with $124 million in the bank and just call that a heist and move on with his life?
I mean, I thought he should have stepped away from the game in 2022 when he had those 2 consecutive concussions. But then you look at how football players are. Those guys are just wired differently. And you made a very valid point in mentioning the fact that he just got paid. I mean, he has now the opportunity not only to take care of himself and his family, but, I mean, legitimate generational wealth. So to make a long story short, I would step away. I would call it a career, but I think football players are built differently. And if somewhere in this equation, the medical people tell him, hey, you can still play, I wouldn't be surprised if he still tries to stay in this game. But I think he should move on and leave football.
Remy, I don't want to use a soft word, you know what I mean? But, he definitely can't take a punch. I mean, can you play quarterback in the league being so fragile?
Well, fragile players don't last long in the NFL, irrespective of what position they play. And before we try to cast our aspersions on Tua, we have to understand that this is a young man who has put everything into getting to where he is today. So, maybe he should walk away. Maybe he shouldn't. I mean, I can only imagine what kind of thoughts, emotions, and feelings he's going through right now to make sense of all this. I remember last season he played all 17 games. And I believe that in 2022, it was not 2 concussions he had, and I believe it was 3 because there was a game against Green Bay where he did.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And I think he threw 3 interceptions in the second half of that game, and he was not removed from that game. So I think it's more like 3. So all I can say is I hope the young man does what is best for himself. I mean, he lost weight coming into this season, which I didn't understand because he bulked up, and I think there's a correlation between him bulking up and surviving, the 2023 season incident-free. So I don't know why he deviated from that, but I just hope and pray that the young man is okay and he's not, in danger of suffering any long-term damage. I do suspect that the league is going to intervene. I'd be really surprised if he sets foot on a football field this year.
Where does Miami go from here, Paul? I mean, they went all in on Tua Tagovailoa. Their backup quarterback situation. I think Jacoby Brissett was there last year, and he was moved. Their backups. He doesn't even look like he's a college quarterback. I mean, they put all their eggs in that basket. You know what I mean? And that team was put together for Tua Tagovailoa because they know he was limited, so they had to give him speed at every level. So they have wide receivers, they have running backs that are fast, they have tight ends. Like, that team is ready for a playmaker. Tom Brady sucked in the booth this week. Why not give Tom Brady a call? If you were the Miami Dolphins front office,
my God,
you saw how that backup looked for the last quarter and a half of that game. Tom Brady's not going to make it in the booth this season. He's just not. Tom Brady really sucked in the booth. Like, I'm going to be the first person to say it. Why not make that call?
No, we're sick and tired of him now.
Talk to me, Paul. Talk to me. So where does Miami go from here? It can't be Thompson as the answer for the rest of the season.
No, the name on everybody's lips is Ryan Tannehill. 36 years old, not 100 years old like a quarterback whose name I won't call. He understands this offense, has some familiarity with some of the play calls.
Not this offense. Not this offense. He's had familiarity in Miami, but not this offense.
He has some familiarity with the OC that is in Miami. It's not something that will be difficult for him to learn. But from the standpoint of just the amount of talent on that Miami offense, you just want someone who's going to come in and not mess it up.
Who is that? Who is that person? Who is that person? Who is that person? Come on, Paul. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Paul, don't fight it. Don't fight it.
Different argument. We don't. I mean, look. You might have these aspirations and dreams because he's your hero. I would take Joe Flacco or Tannehill over Tom Brady any day.
Paul, Remy, talk some sense into Paul. Who better to steer the ship to a Super Bowl than TB12 right now?
Well, before we get into Tom Brady as a potential quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, I think we're leaving with a really important point. In that game on Thursday night, it appeared to me that the Buffalo Bills exposed the Miami Dolphins offensively. I mean, we know that Mike McDaniels likes to use out of smoke and mirrors and motions and misdirections. All the Bills did was play two safeties back, play man-to-man underneath, and force the Dolphins to A, run the ball, and B, go to short passes and tackle. The Dolphins are going to be seeing that every week now. Now, to your point about Tom Brady, I'm not sure what Tom Brady adds at this stage of his career.
What do you mean?
No, hold on. I mean,
the guy won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. What are you talking about?
You asked me a question. Allow me to answer the question.
How dare you say that, Remy?
I mean,
no, but he won the Super Bowl 3 years ago, so I don't understand when you say you don't know what he has to offer.
3 years is a long time in the NFL, and also it's a different style of offense, right? I mean, one of the things that you have to give Tua credit for his ability to have nimble feet. The ball handling and all that. It's a lot of intricacies as far as the quote-unquote
because he's limited, as his arm is limited. That's why they have to do all of that.
Yes, I agree.
All the gadgetry because he's limited.
I am not fighting that. You're 100%. But the bottom line is that same gadgetry or gimmick offense, whatever you want to call it, had Tua in the conversation for league MVP last season. He led the league in passing and a lot of the trickery. When you put Tom Brady in there, who's very statuesque.
He's not going to be doing all of that, Jazz.
And I love Tom. Okay, I have no issues with Tom, but that offense is not the same. Do you think that they can just plant Tom Brady in there?
What would Tom Brady do with Tyreek Hill? No, just think about it. So. Just think about it. Tom Brady had run him for like 18 games. Like, what would he do with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
Different offense though.
And Achan and Moster. Oh God, come on. I'm salivating just thinking about it. Like if from our viewers on YouTube, if you ever see my face right now.
I suggest you get a napkin, sir.
No. Like just the thought of it.
Yes. You dab the side of your mouth.
Just the thought of it.
I think so.
Oh, all right. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to picking some games this week. I mean, we we had an exciting game on Monday night, on Thursday night. I mean, the game was good-ish. I mean, until that situation with
I was like,
Tua.
which game we talking about?
Yeah, it was good ish. I mean,
okay, I don't know which game you're referring to, but okay.
Miami has the speed to, they can come back at any in any game. They were down, I think, 17 points against Jacksonville over the weekend, and they came right back and won that game. So they can mount a comeback. They have the speed to do it. So just put some respect on the Miami Dolphins. But anyway, let's get into some games this week. So the Dallas Cowboys host the New Orleans Saints, who wiped the floor with Carolina last week. I mean, again, I don't want to overreact over that New Orleans win against Carolina. Carolina should be relegated. Like, they really should not be in the NFL. I mean, but Dallas, this is this gonna be a step up in class from our Carolina Panthers team? Certainly. I mean, is this gonna show who the real Dallas Cowboys will be? Paul?
I mean, Dallas played against a Cleveland Browns team with a quarterback who did not know what he wanted to do, and an offensive line that was as porous as a sieve. I mean, I don't expect them to have the kind of runaway defensive performance that they did against Cleveland. I think the Saints played a subpar team, but where the middle really kind of meets the road is I expect Dallas to play well at home, to have the offense clicking, and to have the defense playing well. I think it'll be a good game, but I'll tip my hat to Dallas here to get the victory and go 2-0 in the season.
All right. Detroit host Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both team won week 1. Detroit hammered the Los Angeles Rams.
I wouldn't say they hammered
in overtime. In overtime, they pushed them around in overtime. The Rams were tired and the Rams were beat up. And Detroit looks like a dangerous team. They are a dangerous team. If anybody thought Jared Goff was just a band-aid quarterback, they got something coming. Jared Goff can play football. Somebody probably can say that about Baker Mayfield as well. I mean, we thought Baker Mayfield was a stopgap in Tampa, but he seems like he's the quarterback of the future in Tampa for now, at least.
Looks good. Looks better than Deshaun Watson right now.
Right. So, I mean, is this a true test for a Detroit team? Could Detroit be an upset alert in this game, Ray?
Yeah, there could be. I mean, these two teams met in the playoffs last season, and we got a really competitive game, and I expect the same. I think the difference this year, though, is that the Lions' pass rush has improved, and I think they upgraded in their secondary as well, which was a question mark coming into the season. And whenever you're playing a team like the Buccaneers that have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the outside, they have a nice combination of running back in White and Irving. I mean, this Buccaneers team can put up some points. I expect a good game. I think the difference in this game, though, is that the Lions' offensive line, which is arguably the best in football, I think will be able to control the Buccaneers' defensive front and run the ball with Montgomery and Gibbs. And I expect the Lions to win a close game at home. I think the Lions are the top team in the NFC.
All right. Green Bay hosts an Indianapolis team who last week won a tight game to a Houston Texans. But not sure why Green Bay is the underdog in this game. I mean, they played in Brazil and played a good game against the Eagles. So I'm not quite sure why Green Bay is the underdog at home.
Malik Willis starts for Green Bay.
Yes, I forget Jordan Love is out. I forget Jordan Love is out. Yes. No, I remember. All right, let me change my pick. I was going upset alert here, but let me.
I'm going upset alert. I'm going upset alert.
Let me correct that. No. I don't trust Malik Willis. Malik Willis is not the answer. But Paul, let me talk to you a little bit about Andrew Richardson. Are you a fan of the kid, and do you see him as a quarterback of the future in Indy?
I mean, everybody loves the athletic capability of him. He has basically a bazooka for an arm. He can run. He's a big guy. I still need him to play the quarterback position, using his mind more so than his physical capabilities to win football games. You want to see that maturity. If he can get that as a part of his repertoire, he's going to be a problem. I mean, that being said, he's going to make more plays than not, considering how talented he is. He's just raw, unadulterated talent, does not have a lot of experience playing the game. So I think the sky is the limit for him, and I'm impressed with him as a player so far.
All right. The Jets got pushed around by a San Francisco 49ers team who they're a little beat up as well, but they pushed the Jets around all 48 minutes of that game. 60 minutes of that game, sorry. I mean, they traveled to Tennessee to take on a Tennessee team who gave that win away to a Chicago Bears team last week that had no business winning that game. Remy, Aaron Rodgers look old. He doesn't look like a quarterback that's this Jets team should be putting their arms around. Yes, he made a couple throws. He's always will be able to throw the ball, but he look old. He looks slow. He look old. He's not the same Aaron Rodgers. I mean, do you still have the same perception of the Jets that do you believe the Jets are a playoff contender, and do you think they'll win this game?
All right. Well, first of all, I mean, Aaron Rodgers hasn't played football in 2 years, and his first game back was against the San Francisco 49ers that are no slouch on defense. So, I mean, they've made many a quarterback look less than themselves or shell of themselves. So, I think he was more rusty than he is old. I think Tennessee's defense, from what I'm trying to decipher if Tennessee's defense is as good as we saw, or was it just nerves of a rookie quarterback? But I'm going to give a slight nod to Tennessee defensively. I think the Jets are a pro defensive unit, and I think that what's going to come down to in this game is going to come down to the play of Aaron Rodgers or Will Levis. I do not trust Will Levis, and I think the Jets defense are going to make some plays, and I expect them to win this game in Tennessee. I think it's going to be one of the uglier games for the week, but I think the Jets are going to come out on top.
I don't think Levis' wife trusts him. So you know what I mean. I don't put it past him. The San Francisco 49ers fly to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings. San Fran will be without Christian McCaffrey for the first 4 weeks of the season, or for the next 4 weeks of the season, as they placed him on IR. But they still should have enough to beat a Minnesota team who will be playing at home. Could we again see a Sam Darnold lighting up a San Francisco 49ers team? We just can't see that happening, Paul, right?
I don't think Sam Darnold needs to light up that San Francisco 49ers secondary. He just needs to not turn over the ball. I mean, this matchup for me is a lot closer than most people probably look at it as, because San Francisco is going to get theirs. They obviously have the capability to still run the ball, but I think Minnesota presents to them some other challenges for them on defense, whereby they don't necessarily have clear-cut answers for. And I think this game, especially being played in Minnesota, can be close. I mean, that being said, I'm going with San Fran, but only on the pedigree of their talent compared to Minnesota. I think if Darnold does step up, then he gives us a repeat performance of not turning over the ball. Watch out, that could be an upset.
All right, Remy, quickly. The New England Patriots host Seattle. I mean, Seattle is favored in this game, but I think New England, looking at how they played last week, again, I don't necessarily want to overreact too much, but they played hard. I mean, and they seem to like Gerard Mayo. They're going to play hard-nosed defense. They're gonna be smart. They're not going to beat themselves. I think New England Patriots beat the Seattle Seahawks at home. What do you think?
I'm usually wary of teams flying from West Coast to the East Coast. In essence, it's basically a 10 o'clock game for them. For the 1 o'clock Eastern start. But I think the pick here is the Seahawks. I really like Mike McDonald as a head coach, and I think he is transferring that Ravens defensive philosophy over to the Seahawks, and the Seahawks have some good pieces defensively. Also, I think that Seattle's offense is underrated. I mean, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. I forget the name of the third receiver, and as well as the running backs.
Jackson Jigba.
Kenneth Walker. Right. I think that let's try not to overact in New England. I think Cincinnati is in disarray right now. I think that the Seahawks go and beat a very game New England Patriots team. I think it will be entertaining. I think it will be close, but I think the Seahawks will be the better team, and I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to talk about Washington Giants. I think Washington beat the Giants by 30.
I'm not sure about that. Listeners, beware. The Giants own Washington, even with Daniel Jones at quarterback.
If you lose to the Giants, God, I don't even know what's
No, we can lose to the Giants. There's still 15 games to go. It's very possible.
The Los Angeles Chargers should handle the Carolina Panthers at home. Well, in Carolina, quite handsomely. I mean, I don't see any problem there. Cleveland Browns travel to Jacksonville. I mean, Paul, Jacksonville blew a 14-point lead in Miami last week. They take on a Cleveland team. I mean, it's in Jacksonville. I'm sure Deshaun Jackson may be getting a massage or two. I mean, anyway, Cleveland traveling to Jacksonville and beat a Jacksonville team that desperately need this win.
Well, I really want to go with Cleveland. I really want to believe that defense can go out there and get it done. But if they're going to look that inept offensively, I don't see Cleveland beating Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I think, is desperate because they realize they're in a division that if you slip, you slide. And essentially, they're hungry for a win, especially playing their first home game of the season. I think Jacksonville goes out there, plays a clean game, makes no mistakes. From a play calling perspective, they run the football. And they pretty much do what Dallas tried to do, or Dallas accomplished against Cleveland, and get after Deshaun Watson because he's out of sorts. So Jacksonville for me.
All right. Baltimore needs this win. They take on a Las Vegas team that they should be able to run all over. It's not going to be easy. Vegas played well. They have a stout defensive line, but I think Baltimore should be able to beat a Las Vegas team to avoid that 0-2 start. Remy?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I don't want to dismiss the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are definitely a physical football team. I think they're very impressive on the defensive side. They do have, a lot to be desired on the offensive side. And I think the Ravens having that extra 3 days to prepare and being at home, I think they're going to win a tough game. But I just can't see the Ravens losing 2 in a row.
Yeah, usually I'd pick the Rams in this game against the Arizona team in Arizona, but the Rams are a beat up team. I mean, Kyler Murray looked good in week 1. They should have they should have beaten. They should have won that game. Lost it at the end. Paul, can the Rams go in Arizona and steal one, even though they're down Puka Nacua and a bunch of tackles, and it's just a nightmare for the Rams right now. Any chance the Rams beat this Arizona team?
I don't know what it is. I don't have anything empirical to say this is a rationale for my decision. But I just think that the Rams going to still beat them, the Arizona Cardinals. I think from a coaching perspective, they have the thumb up there. I think Matt Stafford is still Matt Stafford, and I know Kyler Murray plays well. But essentially, I think the Rams still have the defensive personnel to make life difficult for him. And he still makes some very risky throws. I think this is one of those situations where you have an unexpected victory for a Los Angeles Rams team that, say what you want to say, personnel, injuries and everything, they're still well coached and they know how to go and play football games and win on the road. So I'm going with them as an upset.
Pittsburgh take their no throwing touchdown, act on the road to Denver.
Brother.
Paul, well, Remy, I don't think Bo Nix is going to light up the scoreboard in this game, but can this work in Denver? Can Pittsburgh go up to Denver, no touchdown and come out with that W? I don't think it happened. Denver is actually the underdog in the game, but I think playing at home, Denver played a Seattle team on the road really, really tough last week. Coming home, season opener, I have to pick Denver in this spot. I don't think Pittsburgh can afford to go in this game. High altitude, I mean, I don't think, Justin Fields has ever seen or felt anything like this. He can't run around. He needs to be able to throw the ball. Denver for me. What do you say?
Well, I tend to agree. I think this was one of the harder games for me to pick because on one side, we do have a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, and we still have T.J. Watt playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's a nightmare for not only veteran quarterbacks. You can imagine the impact that he has on a rookie QB, but I think the friendly confines of Mile High Stadium and the altitude and everything, it is still one of the biggest home field advantages in all of NFL, if not the biggest one. So I think again we're in for another ugly game, which actually kind of favors the Steelers. But I just have this funny feeling that the Broncos win this game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Cincinnati, Jamar Chase came out this week and said, look here, I don't care what you guys are saying, Cincinnati is the team to beat in the AFC. Yes, we look bad week 1, but once we have Joe Burrow, once I'm here, we're still the team to beat in the AFC. I don't know if he's just talking smack. I don't know, but they go to Arrowhead to take on a Kansas City team that is well rested, that is hungry, and that is pissed off. I think this is a bad spot for Cincy, Paul, and I think they're gonna get run out of the building really fast. What do you say?
I mean, here's the thing with swagger and having big talk. You can put on that outfit, but if you put on weight and you get big, it's just not going to fit anymore. And that's my perspective on the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, they're not the same guy. They're not the same team. Yes, they might give you the same sentiments when they do the interviews and they might talk smack. They are not the same team. And Kansas City is also not the same team. They are better. That Kansas City team, I think, when both run them, I expect Kansas City to take it personal because they already don't like the Bengals. And I'm looking for an exciting game whereby at some point that defense just basically pin their ears back and they go after Joe Burrow, considering that they're not necessarily all fine-tuned and oiled for the season as yet, and it could get ugly.
All right. I mean, I think it's gonna get ugly. The second game of his career, and Caleb Williams will be on national TV on Sunday Night Football against Houston Texans. And Remy, is this the future feud in the NFL for the next 10 years?
Well, first of all, we have to see if Caleb Williams can actually lead his team to scoring an offensive touchdown before we even got there. And playing against a D'Amico Ryan's coach defense in Houston in a national televised game, I think is a tall order. I mean, we're talking about what was sustainable for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not going to get block punts and pick sixes every week. So, I mean, this game has the potential to be a blowout, in my opinion. I mean, I really like what the Texans have done. I think the biggest signing of the season could be Joe Mixon in Houston. I mean, what he did last week to a very stout Colts defense was very impressive. I mean, I give a lot of respect to the Bears defense. If the Bears win this game, it's going to be because the Bears defense play like the heroes on fire and play out to their mind. But that being said, I expect this to be a comfortable win for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I'm Houston as well. And finally, Monday night, the Atlanta Falcons. Something just come to me. Why don't Miami, if they can't get Tom Brady, because he's getting a lot of money in the booth, why don't Miami Dolphins trade for Kirk Cousins? He looked average in his opener with the Falcons. I mean, Miami should consider trading for Kirk Cousins. Just if you're listening, Mr. Ross, I'm just giving you GM advice. Trade for Kirk Cousins.
Just throw money out there and swallow that contract.
Yeah, man. Atlanta flies to Philadelphia to take on your Eagles, Paul. Atlanta again is one of those teams everybody's penciling in the playoffs from last week. Is this can Atlanta Falcons afford to go 0-2? And does the Philadelphia do enough to go 2-0 in this division?
I mean, I feel confident about this game primarily because Kirk Cousins doesn't look like himself. If he's going to be a statue back there behind that offensive line and not be able to drop back and deliver the football, if he's going to have a long day. Jalen Carter and company will have some very successful attempts at getting to the quarterback and making life difficult for him. That being said, you can't always go against an Atlanta team with that much talent and assume everything to be a walk in the park. So I'm looking forward to seeing Philadelphia on the offensive side as well be efficient against the Atlanta defense that I have respect for, but I think if you bludgeon them and you stick to the run and you use our new toy, Sans New York, that we will pretty much run away with this game. So I'm looking for an Eagles victory by a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah, let's see. All right, let's talk a little fantasy before we jump out of here. I mean, we have some matchups. We have some matchups to go this week. Remy, would you play Jacoby Myers versus Baltimore or Darren Mooney versus the Philadelphia Eagles? Who do you start?
I'll go Mooney. I'll go Mooney against the Eagles. I just think, against Baltimore at home, nah. I'll go Mooney. No disrespect to the Eagles. Oh, by the way, Jerome, you know that when we playing, right? I'm not giving you any fantasy advice, okay? All right. Are you sure you want to take it from
Wow.
Okay, anyway, let's leave it.
We better try to sneak a freebie.
Get it if you can take it. I mean, Paul, would you play Dak Prescott against the New Orleans Saints stout defense or Bryce Young against the Chargers defense.
Come on. That's easy. Come on. I mean, have you seen Bryce Young? Bryce Young looks like
Bryce Young is still on your roster.
New Orleans have players. New Orleans have players.
Bridging,
on
if
defense.
Dak Prescott just turn around and hand off the ball and go and get more fantasy points than Bryce Young. I guarantee you. Next.
All right. Chris Godwin or Jared Judy. Chris Godwin, Remy versus Detroit or Jared Judy against Jacksonville.
Godwin is a star, and I like the new OC in Tampa and how he calls games. He's very creative. You know, they move people around, and I think the focus is going to be on Mike Evans, who is a living legend, and I think Godwin is going to benefit from that. So yeah, Godwin all day.
All right. And finally, Gabe Davis versus Cleveland or DK Metcalf versus the Patriots.
DK Metcalf.
I'll take DK. DK. I mean, come on. He's always going to be a tough matchup for any secondary, and you can't really go against that guy one-on-one. And playing against a team that, let's just say the Patriots are good, they're disciplined. I still expect him to have success out there in terms of making plays. So that's a decision I can make with my eye closed.
All right, thanks for all the fantasy help. And you know, we're not just a football team, a football show here. We talk a little pop culture, and the Super Bowl halftime show was announced last weekend, and one Kendrick Lamar was announced as the host of the performer for the halftime show for the Super Bowl. Controversially, I mean, many persons felt that Lil Wayne, who is a New Orleans native, even though he doesn't support the New Orleans Saints, he's a lifelong Green Bay Packers fan, I might add. Many people felt that he should have been given the nod, given that he's from New Orleans. Paul, I mean, how did that land with you? Do you think Kendrick Lamar deserved this honor? And do you think this was a slap in the face to New Orleans or Lil Wayne?
I mean, honestly, I love the decision. I mean, Kendrick is the hottest hip-hop artist right now, stemming from that feud that he had with Drake. When you talk about the Super Bowl, you want someone who not only has, current clout, but actually has a carrying and a certain hype behind him, because there's also murmurs about him have an upcoming album. This whole narrative about bringing Lil Wayne because he's from New Orleans, that's not how this works. And people have been saying sentiments about Jay-Z and the NFL about the decision, not realizing that Kendrick has the option to bring Lil Wayne out in the actual performance as a surprise guest.
That's not going to happen.
And just the noise around it, to me, it feels like, again, within the black community, you have your feuds and you have your issues, and people just want to find different sentiments and ways to argue with each other. So I have no problem with Kendrick.
Remy, how did it land with you?
I think it's much ado about nothing. I mean, if you look at the history of the Super Bowl halftime show, I mean, who says that you have to be from the city where the Super Bowl performed? I mean, last year where was the Super Bowl? Vegas. Usher is from Texas. Why didn't they couldn't find anybody in Vegas if this is the logical going? A couple of years ago when you had Jennifer Lopez perform down in Miami, she's from New York, and Shakira is from Colombia. So this is, I mean, and if you go through, like I said, the history of the Super Bowl halftime show, there are many instances where the performers are not from the city where the Super Bowl is being played. So it's a rubbish narrative. People need to just move on. Kendrick Lamar is deserving. And like I said, much ado about nothing. I mean, when we saw Dr. Dre in LA a couple years ago, along with 50 Cent and Mary J. Blige and Eminem, the only person from Los Angeles there was Dr. Dre.
Well, Kendrick Lamar was also there, and he's from
Los Kendrick Angeles. Lamar, exactly, yes. So Eminem from Michigan, Mary J. Blige, I think, is from New York, and 50 Cent is from New York as well. So it's really, I don't know what this is all about. I don't get it. It is what it is.
You can't say you don't get it. You can't say you don't get it. There has to be.
No, we don't get it. We don't get it.
No, I don't get it because, like I said, if you look at the history of the halftime performance, the majority of them are not from the city in where the Super Bowl is being played. That's not a requirement.
No, nobody says it's a requirement, but you get the reason why fans are upset. You can't say
No, I don't.
Get
Actually,
it.
I
What do
don't.
you mean you don't
I
get
don't
it?
get it. No, I
What do you
don't.
mean you don't get it?
I don't.
Imagine.
I don't get it. No, you just want to. You just want
There
to
was
argue about.
recently in Jamaica here we had I think there was I think it was one national gala, and they gave Machel Montana the keys to the city on a grand gala stage, and the government got hit for it.
That's a
rightfully so.
situation. I think that's an entirely different.
No. It's not an entirely different. It's not an entirely different situation.
I don't agree.
It's not an entirely different situation. It's
How is it? How is it the same? You're talking about a national event, and you're basically comparing it to a sporting event for the United States.
So imagine the Super Bowl. Imagine the Super Bowl was kept in Jamaica, and they had.
It's not though.
They had Bungee Garland as a halftime show in
Hey, Paul,
in
you
Jamaica.
tired? You ready to go? I think it's about that.
No. I'm asking. How would you feel if the Super Bowl was kept in Jamaica and they gave Bungee Garland the halftime show? Would that sit well with you?
First of all, I just be over
the
Super Bowl is in Jamaica. If you're going to go hypotheticals, I just be over the moon.
So you wouldn't care. You think that's much to do about no. You wouldn't want to give that stage to a Jamaican.
Question. Think about what that would do for Jamaica's economy. I couldn't care less who performed.
Come
they
on.
Could have a 3-ring circus. It wouldn't matter to me.
Come on. Don't be a Shannon shot.
Don't
be a Shannon shot. Come on.
Argument weak. If you have to reach for a hypothetical to make a point, you probably don't have a
No. I have a point. I'm just saying.
Thank you, Paul.
I'm just saying.
You don't. Your point does.
No. But you haven't debunked the point, because I get the point that the precedent has been set. The precedent has been set that you don't have to be from the area for the halftime show. The precedent has been set.
Yes.
However, when Dr. Dre, when they were in LA, Dr. Dre led the performance, right? It was a Dr. Dre Snoop Dogg led performance, and friends, right? This is New Orleans.
Was an exception
New Orleans,
and not the rule, bro.
So this is New Orleans, right? New Orleans is known for.
What are you trying to say?
Can you give me a chance to say it? This is New Orleans. Okay. New Orleans is not known for a lot of positives, right? It's really not. He's not. He has a diss song. That's it. He has a diss song. That's it.
Jerome, if you say you don't like Kendrick is one thing, but you can't.
I would dare you to name 5 Kendrick Lamar songs. I don't want to embarrass you on national TV and national radio.
Okay, why
I
would
would
you name
dare you to name 5
TV?
Kendrick Lamar songs. That is gonna be the lowest rated halftime show in Super Bowl history.
Right.
And remember, I said it here. I said it here. I said it here. I said it here.
You want to bet on it?
I said it here. I said it here.
If it becomes the lowest rated show, you have to put on a Liverpool jersey.
Never. That will never happen. That will never happen.
Yeah, man.
That will never happen.
Put your money where your mouth there.
That will never happen.
I'm going to say, if you win, I put on a Manchester United jersey.
That it would look good on you. It would look good on you.
I'm sure it would Tom Brady jersey.
I'm sure it would look good on a Miami Tom Brady jersey. A Miami Tom Brady jersey.
You love run off your mouth. You love run off your mouth and don't want to back it up. It's all right.
But anyway, guys, thanks for joining. We're way over time. I see Alric in him tight shirt. That's you're parking Liverpool jerseys, no?
Jesus Lord.
You're parking Liverpool jerseys. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining. We'll be back here with more on Sports Nation Live.
Good health starts with proper hydration. Hydrate your body with Hydrate. Hydrate is purified natural water from rocks 110 feet below the ground. You have never tasted water so great, yet so affordable. Yes, taste and experience it for yourself. Water at its best. Hydrate. Available also as purified alkaline water and ultra-purified distilled water. Bottled by LLNSCS Limited, a subsidiary of Max Pharmaceuticals. Call 876-983-6466.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Are you ready for a patio makeover you can afford? Then come to Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills in Montego Bay. We now offer a new line of beautiful, truly affordable furniture that will make your outdoor space look amazing. And you won't find it anywhere else at these prices. Get that high-end look that is sure to impress, easy in-store financing, and island-wide delivery options too at Paradise Patio Furniture and Grills, Witter Village Mall, Montego Bay, and ParadisePatioJamaica.com.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Let's jump over to our YouTube page to see who is on. We say a good evening to Monica Stone. Also, good evening to Paul Peart, Jacqueline Thomas, Melvin Brown. Good evening to Marigold Weber. Good evening to Errol Townsend. As we go on, we say good evening to Mikkel Randolph Wright. Good evening to you. See who else is on the YouTube platform. Andrew Thomas, we said that earlier. Good evening to you too. So all those on our YouTube platform, just a good evening to you all. Let me remind you of the scores in the Issa Manning Cup and the Costa Cup football competitions. In the Issa Digital Manning Cup football competition, Kingston College, they would have blanked Cumberland 18-0. Stats, they would have beaten Calabar 1-0. Jamaica College, they stopped Ascot 11-0. Excelsior, they beat Bridgeport 7-1. St. Catherine, they beat Holy Trinity 4-0. And St. George's College, they stopped Papine 10-0. Now in the Costa Cup football competition, that's the Costa Cup Issa Water football competition. Let me just bring it up here so I can just share with you some of the results in that competition. We have Kempsale beating Veer 2-0. Cornwall College, they clipped Maldon 1-0. Herbert Morrison, they beat St. James 3-0. Green Pond and Irwin, they drew 3-3. Anchovy, they beat Rassis 1-0. Grangeville, they lost to Black River 2-1. Mannings, they blanked Godfrey Stewart 9-0. Spotville beat Cedric Titus 2-0. William Nib, they beat Holland 5-0. Stets and Lacovia drew 1-1. Monroe College, they beat BB Coke 1-0. Newell, they lost to Magati 2-0. Homewood Technical, they beat Alphonsus Davis High 1-0. Clarendon College, they beat Lennon 2-0. Glenmuir, they beat Garvey Marcia 2-0. Fogo Road blanked Porus High 6-0. Happy Grove, they beat Morant Bay 3-1. St. Mary High, they beat Iona 8-1. St. Mary Tech and Titchfield, they drew 1-1. And Port Antonio, they beat Wycliffe Martin High 2-0. So that were the scores in the Issa Water, the Costa Cup football competition. Now, by popular request, we bring you the interview we had with Johnny Grave last week. So we encourage you to have a listen. Good afternoon and welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex Raby. We'll be talking some cricket now. We'll be speaking with outgoing CEO of Cricket West Indies, Johnny Grave. Johnny, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
I'm blessed. And yourself?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Okay, happy to hear that. Johnny, you will be leaving as the CEO of Cricket West Indies at the end of October. Tell us how would you describe your tenure so far?
Yeah, look, it was an enormous honour and privilege to become the CEO of Cricket West Indies. Obviously, a massive responsibility to the fantastic history and legacy of the organisation, but a big challenge with everything that's going on in world cricket, really. And that's before, the most challenging period was probably that 2 years of COVID, when for many of it, we weren't sure whether we'd be able to play international sport as we had done before. So, it's been a sort of roller coaster 7 years, but one that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and hopefully leaving the organisation at least off the field in a better position than when I started.
Like you said, it has been an honour serving as CEO of Cricket West Indies, especially because of the legacy of CWI. But tell me, first up, when you got the call that you have been selected to be the CEO, what was your first initial thoughts, and did your expectations match up to what you would have found?
It did to a certain extent. I think I probably hadn't really appreciated the national identity within the West Indies, and quite how strong that feeling is in the likes of and the differences, I guess, really from a country like Jamaica to a country like Guyana, obviously, and everything in between that ties together the unique region and the unique team that is the West Indies. But I came in really with a mandate for the board to improve player relations and to increase the commercial revenues and modernise the business as much as we could on and off the field, and certainly achieved a large part of that. We've now got the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua, the 20-acre site that we now fully own under freehold. So that's a really important asset for us as a business. But for the cricket side of it, to have the men's and women's academies based there in a genuine high-performance environment to hone their skills, coming out of a under-19 programme and moving towards professional cricketers, that's a really important part of what we've been able to do over the last few years, as well as I said sort of earlier, survive and sort of lead the way really in many respects in COVID. We were the first team to tour England, the first team to tour Bangladesh, New Zealand, and we kind of kick-started that biosecure environment that was so crucial to keeping broadcast deals alive and by default the money flowing and the lights on. So it was a challenging period, but one that we've got through. And certainly sitting here now in Antigua, if I was to look at the balance sheet of Cricket West Indies, it's in rude health on the back of two big tours by India in 22 and 23, an England tour in 22, an England tour in 23, a successful T20 World Cup that we hosted in June, and England due to come here October, November. So that was important, but it's also important that we have that significant reserves to get us through what we know will be two challenging years in 2025 and 2026 before India are due to come again in 27. So hopefully we've got enough in reserves to continue to make strategic investments across the cricket system. And hopefully we've got stability on the field now under the leadership of the respective head coaches, Darren Sammy, Andre Kohli, and in the women's team, Shane Dietz, and hopefully we can continue to climb the rankings, which is obviously the hope and aim of all West Indies fans, really, that we can get back to being right at the top of the world in all three formats.
Earlier you mentioned how difficult it was navigating as CEO of Cricket West Indies, but tell me how much of a challenge or more of a challenge it would have been for you, the fact that you would have to navigate among 6 different boards, not only the Cricket West Indies, but the Cricket Board of Jamaica, Barbados, Ghana, and so on. How much more difficult that made your job?
Well, I think I've been really fortunate. All the territorial boards that you mentioned, as well as those sub-boards in the Leewards and Windwards, as well as other key stakeholders, the WEPA, the Players Association, WICIA, the Umpires Association, and all the governments of the region have given us really good support over the last few years, which is crucial. Thinking back to COVID, we couldn't have done it without the support of the governments, particularly the ministries of health, in creating those biosecure environments. And the territorial boards are such a crucial part of our cricketing system. They're the ones that really produce the talent that make up the West Indies team. So it's important that we share with them best practice. We help them to professionalise and modernise their businesses, and moving from amateur organisations into modern professional businesses is a challenge. And clearly we need to fund them as much as we can, but also help them to attract local funding, be it public or private money, to enhance the cricket programs and systems, so that we can produce some of the best players in the world, because those systems that are in place, particularly in England and India and Australia, are so well developed. The players that they're producing are of such high quality. That's why they're at the top of all the rankings across all formats and both the men's and women's games. So that's what we're competing with. And cricket is, as you know, a very competitive world now, and there's emerging nations coming to the table too, which makes, Cricket West Indies cannot stand on its standstill, and it needs to move forward, and it needs its territorial boards to move forward, as well.
I'm speaking with Johnny Grave, outgoing CEO of Cricket West Indies. Johnny, tell me, when you look back on your tenure, there's Test cricket, T20, and ODI. Right now, it seems as if West Indies are doing pretty well as it relates to the shorter versions of the game, but the pride of West Indies Test cricket seems to be lacking. As you look to the Met Office, is there anything you think you could have done better, or other stakeholders could have done to improve the quality of our Test cricket?
I think the one area that I'm still, don't feel that we've really addressed to the level that we need to is the quality of our pitches and the quality of our practice facilities. We've got so many more cricketers playing in the youth programs, those academies and under-23 programs that are coming to fore next year in particular. But looking at just the men's and women's setup, that we need more quality, high-quality pitches and facilities in the Caribbean. We've got very good international stadiums, and certainly coming out of the T20 World Cup, 6 or 7 of them have undergone significant investment and improvement. We've got to work with the other governments who didn't host the T20 World Cup in order to make sure those 4 or 5 stadiums that didn't go through refurbishment and modernisation can do the same. But I'd really love to see, better pitches and increased dedicated practice areas that allow our players to hone their skills out in an outdoor environment using modern technology, bowling machines, video analysis, and that's an area that has been called out in our strategic plan that will go from 24 to 2027 over the next 4 years. But that's certainly an area that needs focus, because only by playing on good quality wickets and practicing on good quality wickets will our players really improve in those longer formats of the game. But I think overall the West Indies Championship now, with the addition of the academy and the combined campuses and college teams playing 7 rounds, with an expanded A-team programme involving a lot of 4-day red ball cricket and the academy tours that we've started to go on both home and away, there's a good amount of Test cricket happening and red ball cricket happening, which hopefully bodes well for the future. But we've got a lot of young players in that Test team. The bowling attack looks pretty solid, but the batting is really an area where we need to improve. And we've had moments, as you know, at home beating England, away beating Bangladesh, winning that Test match at the Gabba in Australia. But more often than not, we're not quite there when it comes to consistency and winning consistently. And we'll only do that by producing better and better players that will come out of our system. So, pitches is definitely the one area where I feel that we can still make a lot of progress.
As we speak about Test cricket, what's your thought on the $15 million US Test fund that is being touted by ICC to promote Test cricket, those outside of the big 3, I should say?
Well, I think as a concept we welcome it. I think we were disappointed when it went away back in 2016. We felt it was a way in which there was ring-fence money that could be prioritised into the Test cricket system, which obviously includes the first-class system and all red ball cricket that you play. And it is important that with all the money and all the riches and private investment coming into the shortest form of the game, that we still do everything we can to market and promote what what many people feel, including myself, is still the pinnacle of our sport and the ultimate test of a team over 5 days in a test match. But it does need financial support. I don't think there's been any detailed discussions yet at ICC, but I hope it's part of a wider discussion around trying to get more competitive balance into the different formats, to try and get more of a league mentality and more of a revenue sharing mentality and pooling of commercial rights to be exploited collectively. I welcome all of those discussions because I think Test cricket still has a big role to play in our sort of cricket system, and I'm sure there's more that we can do to ensure that it continues to thrive, but not necessarily at the extent of diminishing anything to do with T20, because I think the T20 format of the game has been fantastic. It's been a lifeblood for many organisations in cricket, and certainly for the players. It's given them, unprecedented amounts of money and options in how they can ply their trade around the world. So, but I think we can get balance in between the three formats, and I think that maybe that balance has shifted a bit too much towards the shortest format, and it's up to us, international and global administrators, to try and address that, and the Test Match Fund is definitely something that can help.
Why aren't we seeing more A-team tours? There are several times when we send teams to England or India, and you see players playing in those conditions for the first time. Wouldn't it be beneficial if we have like more A-team tours where these players can be acclimatized to these conditions early, so when they make the senior side, it's not a surprise to them. They know what to expect, so to speak.
Yeah, look, we've invested a lot in those programs. We had the women's A team went to Pakistan last year. We had the men's A team go to South Africa, which was a crucial part of the preparation ahead of our Australia Test tour. We had the academy men in Ireland back in May, and we've got the under-19 women currently in the UK. But we were let down a little bit by Cricket South Africa, who were due to come on an 18 tour here in July and August, and when they cancelled that at the last minute, we didn't have quite enough time to find a worthy replacement. But we've been able to confirm with Cricket South Africa that they're coming back on an 18 tour in April, May next year, at the end of our 4-day West Indies Championship season. So it's definitely an important part of our overall cricketing ecosystem, and we very much want to get more opportunities for our best players who are just outside of that international team to be able to go on tours or to play international opposition in the Caribbean. Hence, why even last year we took a men's T20 team to go and play in Nepal. It's not just about the longest format of the game, it's about all three formats and getting our players to acclimatise to different conditions, get used to different varied international quality opposition, and what challenges that presents our players, and hopefully all those experiences, as you rightly say, will stand them in better stead when it comes to playing international cricket, and they can be more successful individually and collectively.
When you look at your tenure, tell me what's the thing you're most proud of, and what's the most disappointing thing for you as it relates to you executing your duties?
Well, I think probably how we got through COVID, and certainly now walking into the office every day that's at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua, and looking around that and seeing the men's and women's academy more often than not every day, training in probably without question the best facilities in the West Indies. I think that gives me an enormous sense of pride, as well as hope that if we can continue on this path and continue to make the improvements that we've identified in the strategic plans, there are better days to come for our long-suffering fans. I think, in terms of challenges, it's a CEO role where you're always facing a challenge almost on a daily basis, and it can come from anywhere. But I think I still feel that the politics of Caribbean cricket is still something that holds the organisation back, and I'm longing for the day that we can really embrace governance reform, not just at CWI level, but across the territorial boards too, and get more skills-based boards in, and really embrace both the public and private sector, because for Cricket West Indies to revive cricket in the Caribbean to the level that all fans want, they can't do it on their own. They need the help of supporters and fans to come out, They need volunteers. They need government support. They need private sector support. They need the support, obviously, in alignment with the territorial boards who are doing the hard work locally, and they need, parents and kids to want to play cricket and teachers to want to teach it in schools. So it takes everyone to make the improvements to get West Indies back to the top. But I feel that, certainly on the back of the World Cup, where we got tremendous support from our governments and from fans who came out and rallied around all of our West Indies games that we had, as well as many of the other neutral games. We had big crowds in Sabina Park, Jamaica for the South Africa series on the eve. And we're obviously seeing good crowds in CPL, which is just starting. So, look, I think it's something where everyone can feel optimistic, and hopefully there can be good decisions being made over the next few years to continue the work that we've started. But as I said before, we live and work in a very competitive world, and England and Australia and India in particular are investing hugely in their cricket systems, and we've got to do the same, otherwise we will get left behind.
Right, I'm speaking with Johnny Grave, outgoing CEO of Cricket West Indies. Johnny, tell me the inclusion of USA or the co-hosting of the recent World Cup with USA, how much has that helped to break into the US market, for cricket to break into the US market?
Well, yeah, look, I think firstly the T20 World Cup did unbelievably good positive things for us in the Caribbean. We probably got over $100 million invested by the governments into the national stadiums that hosted the World Cup. Cricket West Indies would have generated in excess of $20 million in profits from the event, which we can then invest over the next few years in improving and enhancing our system. But clearly what we need to do in this part of the world is really grow the audience on our time zone. We don't have a domestic host broadcaster that produces and pays for the production costs of televising our sport and pays us a big rights fee like many of the other boards do around the world. We have to produce our own cricket at our own expense, talking about upwards of $5 million a year to broadcast TV feeds of all of our cricket. And then we have to sell it to the TV companies, and obviously with the fragmented market here in the Caribbean, that's a challenge in order to get anywhere near, covering your production costs, let alone making profits that can go into the other costs of staging the cricket and running the system. So growing the sport in this part of the world and getting the media companies, in particular in the USA and Canada, interested and engaged and valuing cricket, is still the long-term objective. So putting, 16 matches in 3 cities in Dallas, Florida and New York, I think was important. We saw crowds come out in their thousands, particularly obviously for the India-Pakistan game, but really for all matches. I was surprised when I went to one of the games in Florida for the Nepal game, where there were thousands and thousands of Nepalese fans that had come out. So, I think with Major League Cricket and Minor League Cricket, it's happening. Obviously, facilities in the USA is a real challenge, but there's definitely a growing sense that cricket is an important sport. I think there's a realization amongst American sports fans that cricket is the second biggest sport in the world, and obviously with the news coming out of ICC last year that cricket will be included in the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028, I think all of those things bode well for the sport growing, not just in North America, but actually in many new markets and countries around the world.
Like you mentioned, cricket will be in the Olympics come 2028. Tell me your thoughts on a competition being staged to decide which team will represent the region at the Olympics in 2028.
Yeah, we haven't really got into that detail yet. I mean, it's my hope that we'll be able to work with our counterparts in the Olympic associations, and particularly in CANOC and within this part of the world, to get cricket into the Pan Am Games. And it'd be my hope that one of those spots for the LA Games would be for the winners of the Pan Am Games, and that we would enter teams under the different sovereign nations who are all members of their respective Olympic association, and that at least one of the spots in the LA Games would be ring-fenced for our region. And, I'm sure it would be a keenly contested event, watching, the likes of Barbados, Ghana, Trinidad and Jamaica and Antigua all go up to try and not just win win a tournament, but actually win and secure a spot in an Olympics and fight for a medal for this part of the world. I think that would be tremendous and unique. We did it in 2022 in the Birmingham Games and the Commonwealth Games, where Barbados women went to represent the region. And I'm sure whoever qualifies for LA would do us all proud.
Earlier you mentioned wanting to see more improvement as it relates to the quality of the facilities, and I'm sure you're speaking about the training facilities as well, and you would also love to see an indoor facility or several indoor facilities across the region. I mean, we're in a tropical zone where rain can fall at any time, and I mean, we depend on the sunlight a lot, but sun goes down at about 6 o'clock, which limit the amount of time there is to practice. An indoor facility would help persons coming out from work, coming or whatever, to go into the cage and bat a couple of balls, bowl a couple of balls. How important for you that would be to have indoor training facilities?
Well, I certainly think it's certainly part of our redevelopment plans here at Cooley's Cricket Ground to establish a world-class indoor facility. Obviously, there's huge expense goes into bringing teams and players into hubs like the one that we have here in Antigua, and what you don't want is lots of time lost in terms of that training because of the weather. That said, there are lots of new initiatives going around the world where you can sort of provide indoor facilities that are half indoors, half outdoors, and by that I mean a sort of translucent roof which allows sunlight to come through so the grass can grow, allows you to have natural grass growing, which is the best environment for players to learn on natural surfaces rather than that artificial. But it doesn't necessarily have sides, so it's more like a covered pitch with a roof rather than necessarily a full-blown indoor facility, which is obviously very expensive from a cooling perspective in terms of air conditioning and lighting and everything else that goes with it. But certainly we'd like to see a network of what we would call sub-academies, so one in Jamaica, one in Barbados, Trinidad, etc., so that there's a high-performance centre in every single one of the territories for the best players, male and female, from as young as under 13 going all the way up to seniors, that they have somewhere, as you acknowledged, where they can train irrespective of the weather. They can do slightly more technical or camera work in an indoor environment and work on some technical things before then going outside. But we'd certainly also like to see a big expansion of outdoor facilities. You go around the world now and there's 18 full run-up grass wickets adjacent to the pitch. A lot of the international venues have now expanded their squares. Instead of having just 6 wickets in the centre, they'll have another block of 6 either side, giving them 18 wickets, 6 match ones, but 12 practice, so that people can go and have middle practice. And obviously it's cheaper to maintain if all those wickets are in the same pitch, in the same stadium. So that's something that I'd like to see, and I hope, again, as I said earlier, we've called it out specifically in the next strategic plan, and hopefully that it can be something that's rolled across the region.
Cricket West Indies is one of the few sporting associations that still use a 2-year cycle for its leadership. Do you think it's time that they move to say a 4 or 5 year cycle?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was one of the key recommendations in the Webby report that Senator Don Webby led those discussions. They did an enormous amount of consultation. They obviously looked at all the previous reports that had been written about the governance of West Indies cricket. And for me, we now have finally budgeted or got into the mindset of budgeting on a 4-year cycle. Cricket works really on a 4-year cycle between those men's 50-over Cricket World Cups. So our ICC funding is linked to that 4-year cycle. Our players' MOU with WEPA is linked to that. And certainly if we could have a 4-year cycle, it would give us much more stability, I think, as an organisation. It would also give every leadership term the opportunity to host both an India tour and England tour. Would look for them to renegotiate, some of the key contracts that are done over that 4-year period. And then I think it would allow all stakeholders to really assess their performance, and then, as you rightly say, then go into another election cycle, depending on what people's achievements have been and what their vision is and solutions are for further improvement of our system. So, yeah, look, most of the review report recommendations would get my full support and endorsement, and I hope that the shareholders, when they come to vote for it, can adopt as many of them as they can. But it's obviously a decision for the territorial boards to make, as they're the shareholders of Cricket West Indies.
Okay, Johnny, again, thanks so much for stopping by and talking with us. It has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure having you as CEO of Cricket West Indies. You have been very accessible to the media, and we all throughout the region have welcomed that.
Absolute pleasure, and rest assured I'll be working as hard as I can over the next 2 months to make sure that I leave Cricket West Indies in the best possible shape off the field, and I'll be continuing to rally around the West Indies in the future. So thanks for everything, and have a good evening.
You too. Thanks, boss. Johnny Grave, outgoing CEO of Cricket West Indies. We take a break and come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Join the Oberlin Past Students Association Thelma James 5K Run Walk, Sunday, the 29th of September on the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies. Entry fee, $2,000. Proceeds in aid of Oberlin's breakfast program and other school projects. For more information, call 909-4548 or 383-3170. You can also visit their website at oberlinpsa.org.
You've weathered the storm, but rebuilding and preparing for back to school have taken a toll. It's time to get some money in your pocket. At Chris and Charles, we understand your financial needs. With just a quick call, you can access funds to catch up on bills and cover unexpected expenses. Our process is fast, simple, with funds deposited in your account in no time. Don't stress, get money in your pocket. Call 876-926-0609 or visit our website today. Conditions apply. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in 1 day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Tune in to our program live from our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM. And remember to like, subscribe, and share our content. And we're also on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, Nationwide This Morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Raby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. As we look to get out of here, it's or wrapping up off this show of this week. I just want to say thanks to everyone that made it possible. Thanks to those on our YouTube channel that tune in with us. Thanks to those listening via the radio. Thanks to our sports editor, Wayne Walker, who came to us live from the YMCA, that Jamaica Badminton Association Shuttle Tournament, Badminton Academy Shuttle Tournament. And on behalf of myself, good evening, good night, God bless, and as usual, hope you'll be in church tomorrow. And if you don't have a church to worship, you're welcome to worship with us at 159 Olympic Way, Tower Hill Missionary Church. God bless, good night.